Oh, sorry about that. Let me retry that again. Welcome everyone, welcome to the VCT Game Changers APAC, and this is the last chance qualifiers. Tash Bunny alongside Kentrel Quack from the upper bracket run. We have seen some of the most intense matches from X10S all the way to W Streak FE, and now we're going down to the lower brackets where we're gonna see ARF, Starlight, and Bigg Scythe fight it out, see who gets to stay and who gets to go home.
I mean, just a bit of background, right? We were talking it up. ARF, fairly new team, but what it really is ARF picked up some of the players from the Bigg Scythe roster, namely Margot and Crescents, and then along with like a whole bunch of Singaporean players. So it's kind of big, but also that means that they're going to be playing against their ex-teammates. Rue, by the way, is from Renata Scythe, aka the team that got picked up by Team SMG.
Wow.
So some big names, but
solid
they didn't have a really good performance against X10S yesterday.
Technically,
13-3 for both maps.
It's still quite new, but if you remember correctly as well from their previous playstyle, usually they tend to shake a little bit on day one. So I'm expecting a big showing, at least on day two from them. But on the other hand, when we talk about Bigg Scythe, yesterday they had some of the closest games as well with W Streak FE. So I'm just wondering, what has ARF Starlight seen from that match against W Streak yesterday? And as for Bigg Scythe, have they really figured out what exactly is missing from their chemistry? Because yesterday when we talk about Aferlin, great at those clutch potentials, Giver great at those picks, Mochi great at getting those multiple frags, and Skaru a very aggressive duelist. But Yamori is who you want to look at here, because she is a high impact player, high frags, high utils. Not only can she play aggressive and selfishly on her own, something that you see from Famous, from Presija, or now Famous in Boom Esports, not Boom, sorry, Onyx. But she's also very impressive playing just like Forsaken as well. Yeah,
it really changes things up a lot. Again, just because they both were one team, ARF and Bigg Scythe, and now they're split up. Mochi was also one of those players who used to play with Renata Scythe and Paler from last year. So she's really familiar with the girls from Team SMG. She's really familiar with Rue as well, who's under ARF. So Yamori, Aferlin, Giver as well. Ex-teammates with Margot and Crescents. It's going to be a big old clash, and that's why I'm really curious to see what the map picks are going to be, because that's going to give us a little bit more information to work with, because otherwise it's just going to be a big old massacre.
It's going to be really interesting when you think about it, like how exactly these teams play. What do you know about each other? What should we look out for? That really is what you want to see, at least from players who have played from each other. Ascent, Icebox, and Breeze. I'm really excited to see this game go all the way to Breeze, because from what we saw from Bigg Scythe yesterday, they were high impact in Breeze, especially Yamori, Giver, so good with those picks as well. They would shine, but for Ascent and Icebox, might be a whole different story.
Yeah, it could be a little bit tough. I mean, the thing about Ascent is that ARF has a 100% win rate so far. They've played it 4 times under their new roster. They've won 4 times. Can they make it a 5-for-5? We'll find out. Moving on from that, though, Icebox and Breeze, they're still kind of untested, whereas Bigg Scythe has been a little bit more tested on Icebox. They play it quite a bit, 6 times overall. Not the best win rate, but maybe they're a little bit more comfortable on it. Maybe they've got some setups along with the agents that they have. So again, it's a huge toss-up, but unfortunately the thing is, Tash, only one of them will move forward. The other one has to pack their bags, has to pack up their mouse and keyboard, and go home.
I mean, technically they are playing from home, so
okay, fine.
So it's not that dramatic, but it is a very big upset when you think about it.
It's a last chance qualifier, Tash. It is dramatic. Come on.
This is the last chance to play this year, and as pro players, you want to be able to compete. You want to be able to go far if possible. And I have to say that even early, just seeing these big names play against each other already on day 1 and day 2 is just like a shock to me, because you don't expect this big match to happen until later. But honestly, it is. That's what's quoted by our famous meme master. Don't know the name, but he is definitely a meme master. But anyways, going back to the game itself, what are you expecting from map number 1? Going to the side of Ascent. Personally, I mean, if you look at Ascent, big map, very hard to get onto side unless you have the full mid control. But even from mid, you can divide it into 2.
Oh, like, what do you mean?
Like, there's market area and pizza, and then of course there's the garden area. So sometimes because that arch is there, you can kind of like cut it into half, not necessarily giving the whole area of mid to the other to the end of the team.
So smoking it off and then maybe rotating through. Yeah, that's definitely something that a lot of teams do. But what I'm more curious about is the statistics of what we've got for ARF. Like I mentioned, they are still newly formed, but they made it through the group stages almost flawlessly of this Game Changers APAC LCQ.
Are you surprised though?
Yeah, it's quite surprising. And
you are.
One of the ways that they really did it is through Ascent. Like I mentioned, it's a 100% win rate. It's not that easy to do that. I mean, Alter Ego Solis might have done that before. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for Bigg Scythe to actually deal with this. But then again, just because, you know, ex-teammates, they might know each other pretty well. I'm curious to see what the agent composition will be. Just based on what we're seeing from VLR, though, ARF are the ones with a slightly more adapted, slightly more meta composition with the Astra, the Fade, the KO, and Rue, of course, on her trademark Raze.
They have a lot of comps that they play, so you can expect very flexible plays. I'm seeing one of them that's most played as well is with a Cypher. I know that Cypher isn't necessarily in meta, but after what I've seen during VCT APAC LCQ, we've seen the power that can come through, how sneaky they can be. I really want to see a Cypher. Like, bring it in. I know that you don't really use a Cypher on that. Your most used pick is a KO, KJ, and Omen, but please, give us what we want.
Give us what we want. I think it's going to be fairly even for now until we see more.
I'm surprised there's no chamber though.
Yeah, no chamber, just similar compositions. They're sticking with a defensive Killjoy, maybe making use of the utilities to control spaces. Other than that, it's still double initiator, it's still one duelist. It's just slightly different because you have either the KO or the Sova, the Jet or the Raze, the Astra or the Omen. Like, it really could go either way here.
That's the problem when you have a team that has so many compositions. It's hard to read, it's hard to figure out what to anticipate until you go into that round 1 itself. As opposed to what we see from ARF, it's the same similar composition over and over again. But looks like it's gonna be different, I believe, from ARF. Nope, no, it's the same. But from Bigg Scythe, it's different. It's a Sage this time. It's gonna be going on Scaru, and they're gonna go let Yamori go ham here, putting her on the Jet, which is impressive.
I'm wondering if that's locked in, because that would be a very curious composition.
I haven't seen a Sage in Ascent for a very long time. Yeah, but for
and not to mention, this would mean it's double Sentinel.
I think it'll be solid defense. But if oh my god, imagine. Okay, now that we have a Sage on there. Okay, hear me out. Davai style battle Sage. It's Scaru.
Okay.
It's Scaru. It's reminiscent of Davai. You can see Jing playing aggressive as well. We saw Jing as Julius on a Sage. Why not?
But only on specific maps. I'm more curious about the Sage on Ascent. You're gonna have to use really interesting setups. Benkai did this. Benkai did this at the start of Masters 2. So who knows? It could work because you have that one spot with a Grim Wall towards A, and then like maybe Mochi can teleport on top of it. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. Oh, I'm thinking of Haven, but yeah.
There's one on Market that you can get so many picks over on Top Cat. There's one on B to see the whole side of B in the backside, but it's gonna be a defensive wall.
Just blocking up short for now. They can easily break through that though.
They're taking their time with this, but all that
Maybe
noise.
smoke out garden.
They closed the door. This is great that they closed the door early. Actually,
And breaking it too.
nah, close it. And then let them break it. Buy more time.
Well, look at what. Oh, okay. A little bit of sound, just baiting maybe a little bit of utility for forcing the door, but they're actually headed to the B site, ARF.
They don't have the door as well. It's easier for them if they want to rotate back. They have a lot of time. Well, not really. It's 50 seconds to go. Doesn't this remind you of Lead early days? Very default, very quiet. Like Grenade's gonna at least clear out that area, and I'm glad that they cleared out logs as well. Immediately gonna close the door. That'll be rude. Maybe in the backside, there's two actually. It's both gonna be found. They know they're there. Presence. Can do some shots here. Margot does get giver first. After is looking for the right click. Straight up face. After good for 2. Making 3. Not quite chance to reload. Unfortunate, but Yamori is there at least to get 1 in return. But Ru already 2. Staru and Mochi 1 each. Love it. Great way to start the round.
He didn't even have enough time to get the spike planted. What a read from Bigg. Just because they had the first point of contact, they also had the footsteps and just sensing that, hey, nothing's coming towards A, they're probably going towards B. They were fast enough with the trades that ARF just did not have time to brief, did not have time to get the spike down. 1-0 to start.
Imagine if Afrolin switches to the knife earlier. Jumps up. I mean, we saw it happen! Paper X did it!
True.
One day. For now, not gonna be the day. It's very interesting seeing Skaru play more defensive instead of aggressive. I was expecting her to at least stand on the wall, get those picks at least, but I think playing safe is better than being sorry. At least early.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out.
She's really just using the wall to stall them down and maybe get a little bit of intel as well, because it forces them to break down a panel.
That's 2 smokes already. So
Yeah, ARF have the potential to rotate, but if you take a look at what's happening towards middle, both players watching angles, ARF can't really go through it, so they have no choice but just to run it down. They get hit by the paranoia though.
that's great, but it doesn't really matter. Right, Legit good for 1. Ru as well gets
kidding?
1 more. Outgunning the Spectres. Are you kidding me? After the side here, after good for 2. Yes, she is. Good just to the gun. Good for 3. Shandy gonna stop her, but give her from the top side. Closer than I thought. But even though they lost, this is the value you want. They took away 4 Spectres.
Exactly, I was just about to say that. It should not have been that close for Bigg. 4 Spectres gone means that they're gonna have to go all in on the next round, and if they can't win that, it's back to reset economy, and then ARF might be able to find the momentum. So let's see how ARF really performs now that they have a full arsenal of Vandals and utility.
It's really interesting just now how ARF got caught off guard. Sorry, ARF got caught off guard.
Oh,
Their timing and their rotations didn't quite hit just yet, but we've seen ARF get those crazy headshots, especially Yamori. Giver as well. So, I just want to see if they're able to actually get that. They do have those sheriffs in hand, as well as those 4 spies from Aflin, Giver, and Mochi. Gonna be checking out grass area, this garden. Not gonna get picked just yet. We didn't see anyone trying to get control of mid either. Just very happy to go in through main, baiting out those utils. But this time, you're not seeing those utils come in from ARF at all, except for the smokes from Mochi.
well, a little bit of a prowler spent trying to get a feel for how Bigg are actually defending this. But Bigg are also just playing it so far back, trying to make some rotations work. As soon as the hit comes in, though, all the way onto the A site.
Taking their time, 1 did go down. Great position. That's a double smoke for them.
30 seconds.
Presence flashing through. Does push out. Haven't been spotted out. Does spot out on the side there, but Crescents, what a great reaction time coming through. Immediately spots out after and give it from the side. Catches 1 off guard. Door is closed. Breaks it. Really easy. Aldrone doesn't get the value that they want. 14 seconds to go. He's gonna get it down, but they do get found eventually. Crescent's 4 HP left. Thankfully doesn't get hit by that bolt. Going for the side. Gonna wait out that nano swarm here. They know at least this area is clear. Turret is there just to make sure that no one is playing these close corners. They can go explosive, push out together, but on the other side, look at where they're positioned. What a nice crossfire coming through. Immediately spots on Crescent's 4 HP. That turtle shell play. I love this area, but it's not good enough, is it though?
One enemy.
Great
Don't
crossfire.
interrupt my work.
Wait.
One more. Legit
Oh, she
queen.
disconnected.
I think she disconnected. It's just so unfortunate. Despite not having legit queen, they do still do pretty well.
Well, that is very, very unlucky. 3-0 for Big Scythe because one player was not around, and
Could have been their round, honestly.
it really could have. I mean, this entry coming in from Crescents as they hit the site was perfect. The pop flash from the KO, and then swinging onto both the left and right, taking down 2 players, really gave ARF the site. But in that retake, it just wasn't meant to be.
There's a technical pause
Technical
coming through.
pause, yeah, definitely.
Oh man, because if you think about it, there was a 4 versus 5, and they came that close. So unlucky for them. The timing was just not on their side. It seemed like she probably disconnected as they were trying to get onto site, just right in front of B.
Well, that said, it's still a great retakes, and again, you mentioned that clutch potential coming in from Evelyn, the entire squad working together just to retake sites. And
You saw her sprays! She's not afraid to play close, as is Sova. We rarely see those aggressive Sovas. Usually Sova playing from the back, giving team intel and info, play those lineups, but Sova that plays aggressive, that's a whole new world, honestly, and I think that a lot of players rather, are starting to find value in that.
It's one of the best agents for Ascent just because you have lots of lineups that you can use, and you're able to get a lot of intel, not to mention the Hunter's Fury, which is such a strong ultimate that allows you to deal with post plants, deal with retakes, deal with even just spikes being planted, cutting off rotations as well. What I really want to focus on, though, is the fact that this is 3-0 for Big Scythe to start. They won the bonus round. ARF just lost the momentum completely. Unless Legit Queen can somehow come back into the game and do something with that Hero Vandal, it's gonna be rough, and it does not look too good because you're a new squad and you want to perform better.
Personally,
They did win the group stages.
I really want to see Crescents get that. We did see Crescents get those headshots as well. But it's not gonna be her. It's gonna be still on Legit Queen. It's gonna be breaking off, try and get the mid control, but immediately Yamori with the up. Yamori, we all know how crazy her pick potential can be. How if you cross her crosshair, it's gonna be instant death. She's good for multiple picks as well. She has one of the most insane flicks I've seen.
And that's why we don't see ARF peeking middle anymore. They're terrified.
They're like, it's Yamori, guys!
Nope, I'm out of here. Back into B, where there's a bunch of Killjoy traps. Not to mention Giver waiting for the perfect swing.
Oh yeah, Giver as well. Very scary person to deal with. Mochi not getting that value, but Giver's turret though will be the one to fight Rue. But now does get the mark there onto Applin. Still gets one regardless. Yamori waiting. They know there's one. Not too sure where exactly. They know it's B main and Margot.
30 seconds left.
That smoke will save her life. She's able to cross. Mochi just giving her that space to breathe. They can rotate if they want to. But just 2 of them? What can you do? Mochi reacting to the noise with 13 seconds to go. I don't know where they can go, but Mochi was there with the Guardian, and the Guardian, she's guarding heaven.
Spike planted.
On Yamori here with the shorty! And she's singing. Got them apple bottom jeans. Sorry, I had to. I had to.
We do this every time we cast together. But still,
only on Game Changers.
it has to be said, right? It's not just the shorty, but also the fact that Yamori, operator, it blocks out so much. ARF were unable to do anything around the middle. I think Shabby was kind of stuck around A slightly because of that, but it's also a slight disconnect in the team's ideology. Because one player was stuck on the A side, meanwhile the rest of them were all trying to hit B. It kind of seems like they're not on the same page. They have to fix that real quick.
One of the most tilting things that can happen is coming back from a disconnect, and then on top of that you lose a round. It can be mentally draining. But for now, because of this reset, I'm hoping that this timeout can give them that mental reset. Because sometimes you just need to just recool, just figure out, just cool off. It's still very early. 4-0 is not the end of the world in my opinion. But as for Big Scythe, just how dominating their map control is scary. Look how many people they put onto mid just now. Look how many utils onto B main. So because of that, it gives them so much flexibility, just move around the map.
That's something that we need to look out for. Yeah, Mori is going to be incredibly mobile, especially towards market. She can peek into B, she can peek into mid. ARF, unless they can take her out somehow. I mean, they've got so many agents. Shabby can do something with the gravity well, or maybe even just the Nova Pulse. It needs to be done, but the shot's been fired. Crescent's denying that dash away, allows her to push up, gets the headshot.
What a great opening from Crescents. Taking the side here, immediately finds through. That's gonna be Afrolin caught off guard. For now, they have full control of the site, and suddenly there's only 3 left. 2 lady disadvantage. Let's have Big Side. And here's the lockdown as well. Personally,
it's
gonna be there just to make sure that they can really
10 seconds.
get this round. But for now, the taps do come through. That Nebula will at least hide them in the backside there. Give her gonna use her utils to make sure no one is close, walling up B as well. But look at that, the fire squad from lane. Rue closing it off. That timeout was exactly what they needed to put them back in the right mindset.
It's incredible. That's one way to hold down lane. You got one player just standing over the ledge, and then another one on the other side. It's full control over the back site, and that denies any chance at a retake from Big Scythe. 4-1, and ARF just might be able to come back into the game. And it's all off the back of Crescents with her entry.
I'm really worried that it's the null command that will be the win condition. Regardless, we'll see if it is.
Still sent out just to clear and check the corners.
Oh,
Not quite able
Margot.
to find anything, and Margot all the way from tiles able to find first hit.
Here comes the showstopper. It's Gabiru immediately taking up space here, but she can't see anything. You don't know that Giver's there. Finds her in the
She
end.
is.
Gonna be good for 1. Lockdown destroyed as well.
Spike planted.
Great timing, I have to say. Very unlucky, at least for Giver. Garu, watching for anyone pushing in. For now, what are you gonna do? You have no clue where the other members are. Afrolin from this side. Look at how much area they have covered. That knife is eventually gonna find Afrolin. They can just turn their eyes away at least from the mid side.
Found them.
For now, God, one of the triggers spraying out there, Margot. That swing is lethal. It's all down to Skaru. She's gonna get one, not quite. Crescents, a little bit better there. Skaru whiffs.
And we bring ourselves back into a 4-2, maybe even a 4-3, considering the fact that Big Scythe can't quite buy up in this round.
Arf's
What
mental
a
state
way to
is
make it work.
so great.
Yeah, it's just sudden changing out the pace, a little bit more confidence after the timeout. They go in with that commitment. I want to hit a site, and I'm gonna do it. Everyone works in together, with Margot finding the opening pick, and then Rue pushing up front. We got flashes coming in from Crescents. It all gels together.
Revealing area.
You hear the blades don't come through as well. This is very aggressive, but she's gonna get a pick is the question. Looks like she got tagged as well. 20 HP left for Mochi. Not a great situation. The idea was to have the paranoia out. The timing wasn't just sinking there, as ARF was ready for it. Gonna get caught out here will be Crescents, but no follow-up at least from Afrolin. Aldro coming through. Not getting the tag either, but does see how many people is on mid as Garu gets the headshot onto Crescents. That's one of the initiators out of the way. Don't have to worry about those suppressors anymore as well. Slows on catwalk, but you can still send the Prowler for the information. Scaru not gonna be spotted out. She did get a headshot just now, and I really think that she wants to do it again. Unfortunately, this smoke, Nebula, not gonna give that value, but I was really hoping that she would be able to keep through the tiny little crevice, but she's not going to try and do that. But look at that haunt! Clears out backside. Hunter's Fury comes out. Doesn't quite get the value. No tags either, but Margot good for one. Now go for two. Immediately gonna reposition herself. Gonna use a swarm grenade just to take up space and Rue finds Yamori walking on top. Give her straight ahead. Finds Margot. Rue finds another one. But for now, it's gonna be a crossfire there. Afrolin finds Rue. And for now, look at that. Afrolin gets 2 headshots. Gets an upgrade as well. Afrolin half-life depth. Shabby. Not quite getting that shock dart coming through. 39 HP to a full HP. Shabby! Jump peaks is all that she has. She can just waste some time. Just gonna push out here. Afrolin solo. Where are you looking, Afrolin? Wasn't expecting Shabby to push out like that. And she wins the round.
Slightly overheating a little bit, perhaps. I don't know. But that was a very good shot with the Sheriff. I mean, along with Giver as well, of course, but towards the end, just whiffing a little bit here and there.
Right, though. She knew that Shabby was on the left.
Yeah, it's sometimes just one of those things, and you just kind of, you maybe consider that she might have hopped over. I don't know. But whatever it is, again, ARF going faster and faster now, 4-3, and they are not slowing down. Back into the B side, but it's all but a fake. Look at your mini-map, Tash.
What a great way to make these new kills. But Giver does still got one. Crescent's gonna trade it out, though. It's great. No more utils to worry about. But you know what? Crescent said, haha! Look at how many people.
Face your fear!
But I think they know. A is empty. Nobody's home to accept the nightfall. But does it really matter? The revive comes through for Giver as well. Those utils are what I needed. They're gonna bring it back. Closes the door. Plant comes through. They are one player down. They're just gonna be playing from main here. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they have to.
If it's the best way, just give up the space. Look at
Either
smoked
you
out.
play from main or you play from hell, but whatever it is, you need to make your shots count, because this is 5 players that you're dealing with, and they have quite the number of
Oh my god, I didn't realize Crescent was there! Oh, that's huge. For now, oh, Yamori, timing. Not quite right here. I'm gonna get a tap here. Haunt does get 3 does get marked at one person. But throw out that Prowler onto that Margot just spraying through. They don't have time. Just gonna run away and just say it's fine. Oh, we're gonna catch you off guard, but unfortunately, as she's about to shoot, goes down to Spike.
Oh my goodness. We just traded 4 rounds. And not to mention kills as well. And you have to give credit to Crescents at how she's nailing so many of these. Whether it's a Scythe being hit, whether it's a smart call by the IGL to pull off a fake, it's still Crescents cleaning things up with these frags. And now she's got her ultimate again.
Crescent's showing how big impact she can be, making the space, making sure her teammates can just stay safe. Haunt not quite gonna get anyone here. There's a knife as well. There's 2 kills, not getting value. That alarm bot does still get triggered regardless, even if it doesn't get a pick. You hear those shots coming through as well. Just to make some space, stall for time.
Grenade!
We have to go in though. And it's a bit of a split. Might just work, but the thing is, all of them are playing from backside, playing from PT as well. Giver's the only one here that can slow them down.
Sees no follow-up. That Crescents will be the one with the opening pick onto Giver. Yamori does find Shabby in return. The knife gonna suppress Afrolin. Can't use her retails at least for a while longer. But it doesn't matter for them. Just waiting for the teammates to come in from multiple angles here. Look at how they're surrounded. But there is also that null command. It's gonna be so hard to get onto site without any information, without any UTs to play with. Gonna buy some time with the Nano Swarm as Crescents. She places very close angle. Yamori coming on the site here does spot the head by Crescents. Mochi good for 1 as well as Yamori picks off 3! And Ru does find Yamori in the end! But don't do that because Mochi is gonna just swing together and find Ru in the end.
I will not die here.
What an attempt with a null command just to possibly stall or hold them back or just make their chances of winning this retake slimmer. But even then, just because they pushed in together as a squad, just because they landed their shots, be it from stairs or lane, Bigg Scythe were able to take those numbers away. They were able to take the sight away, pushing in. Who needs a paranoia when you've got the sharpest Vandal in the world?
Really liking how they do retakes as well. One from main market as well as CT. Making sure that every single angle can be cleared. Making sure that everyone has clear passage onto site. Now, personally, that can be very scary. Just because you can't play together from far away like that. But because they're very, very confident in how they wanna, how their own skills rather. They're able to come in together, meet up eventually. And finally, I was a little bit worried that Ru was gonna get the isolate, but finally changed their mind and swinging together was the best thing they can do.
Yeah. It's just, that's what happens when you have fast rotations, fast calls, and you're able to commit yourself to the site. You completely surround and keep your opponents trapped in, and towards the end, Ru just really could not find anything more except for the first one. Trapped inside a boathouse. It still is working rather well, though. This might have been the first time in a while that Bigg Scythe were able to win out a retake. If they can keep it up, they might just be able to come out on top of this first half, but then again, ARF just might turn things around. Off of a technical pause, though, we go straight into a tactical timeout.
Interesting. I think this is a good time for them to really figure out as well what exactly they did right on that round. What exactly they can do to improve. I wouldn't say that their timing for their rotations was like the fastest though, but the fact that they're moving in together, waiting for the teammates is the best thing. Because they knew, like, when you peek one by one, Margot and Crescents will pop your heads if given that advantage. So I'm really liking this idea that they know what to look out for from ARF. But as you said earlier, it is former teammates. So.
Exactly. They know each other rather well, but...
Just like how you and me know each other.
I know you like to eat broccoli.
Oh no, please don't talk about that.
Look it up, fellas. Anyway. 5-4 is the score, and we just might be able to tie things up again, depending on how ARF plays this. Judging by the minimap, they probably want to hit the A site, but how they do it is a whole other thing. Bigg Scythe, though, trying to go a little bit more aggressive with the piece this time, trying to go for some info plays.
Wait, one way. I don't feel like... It felt like yesterday when Yamori was on Initiator, she was doing those big picks, but now she's on Duelist. It's even more crazy. But oh my god, I was about to say caught with your head on your ability chart, but no. She survives with her life. That was terrifying for her. For now, just having caught off Guardian Yamori. Big picks! And look at that swing from Ru as well. Finds Ru. Paranoia comes through. Reposition catches him off guard. Ru good for 2. Closes the door. We're no longer welcome onto the site. But look at those picks. Prays through. Eventually does find them through the wall bag. Margot does find Yamori in the end. Absolutely smart. You know exactly where she is. And she says that's fine. I will make my presence known by knocking on the door. I'm surprised they haven't planted it. What's going on here?
They dropped it earlier on towards the top mid, and that's where Giver is. She heard the footsteps, so if she times this just right, she might be able to catch them.
She also has the
off guard.
30 seconds left.
Oh, she's the ideal area for the lockdown too. You can't destroy it from over there. Just waiting for now. You do do hear as well that they know that Giver is on that side. She's still good for one with the Spectre. Are you kidding me? Athelin. She gets an upgrade as well. Just waiting in this corner. Trying to clear out hell. Drops down. Clear everything. But here comes the party. Does the party find anyone? No!
One player standing.
A little bit late. Gets a trade onto that. Giver finds her in the corner. Switches out her gun. Doesn't get any value. Running out of time.
Oh, no time.
You have to stick it. But where exactly she's gonna come from? She's there! She pulls out her rifle. But Margot is just a little bit faster.
Not just that, the magazine was empty as well.
Oh no, she
Zero on the ammo
forgot.
counter. It was a little bit unfortunate, but that's just how the cookie crumbles.
You're making a lot of bakery jokes today, sir.
But we don't have any muffins or cupcakes in this map. But anyway, between Big Scythe and ARF, right now it's ARF's show. They are able to hit the sides fast enough, consistently enough. Big Scythe are struggling on retakes. Yep.
Great way to waste someone's time. You know the 3Gs.
What are they?
Gatekeep, girl boss, gaslight. Waste their time.
No! Stop! No! We're not doing any of that toxic stuff.
Apple does spot someone up on main there.
Four limits on the side of Big Scythe though.
Does get tagged as well from the haunt. Apple only. That's a great combo of util to think about it. Got a lot of value from that because of the decay out of the mark and also the fragment. Got her half HP. Afflin has no shield at all. Does come through. Recon Bolt does get the value that they know it's how many people are on the side, but Skaru gets the headshot onto Marco! How do you outgun someone that hard? Through waiting, pushing up forward, just waiting for the jump. They didn't expect it to be there. Not good for Through though, too, because Afflin is gutting the headshot onto Rue. Here is the lockdown coming through. Pushing up here, gets one. Shabby gets one as well. And Decree good for two. Breaks the lockdown as well. And suddenly, Yamori gets one. He gets two, gets three! Yamori! We know that you are insane! But you don't have to do it every single time!
Yamori. My goodness. It's... Oh, wow. Something clicked
in the half.
Something clicked. And you can see that switch flip inside of her. She turned things on and just went in for it with the Vandal that she just picked up as well. The lockdown was good and bought her a little bit of time, but she was just able to reposition long enough to go in for the triple kill.
Beautiful spray transfer.
As soon as that lockdown came in as well, you could tell the Big Scythe, they really want these last two rounds. 7 to 5 could give them an advantage as we move into the second half.
Getting so many heart attacks. Those clutches are just too much for me. Prowler was out as well. Was it a Prowler? I couldn't see this now. Probably not. Ability is still up. You do hear the sounds of the guns firing. I really like that they're just able to take their time. Just make some noise, bait out those utils. But Big Scythe, they say no. We know and see how you play.
Changing up the pace this time. Nebula might be a little bit telling though that they might be crossing mid. And that's why we hear a couple of shots coming from Yamori. This might be an eat now, as we can see that Nolji as well as Giver are prepared for this hit coming through from Garden.
They know that there's someone there just gonna take up that space from the area. Some taps coming through as well. But oh my god, Rue ate so much damage! Yamori gonna destroy that. Hunter's Fury is out as well. Doesn't get a tag.
30 seconds left.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
Plant does come.
Spike planted.
There is the lockdown as well. Gonna wall bang that easily and destroy it. Hitting actually though, they have to give up the space. Running out of time. No one gonna get caught. It's alright. Still have some time. Regardless, look at Crescents. This is what she does best. No one is watching the flanks. I
And
thought that you would have someone, but Yamori does take Wargo. Ru does find Giver in return. Yamori finds Ru as well, but for now here's presence from the backside. Hits something to hit, but the Blade Fury does find that Yamori. The 4K Shabby gets 2 of the Mascaru, stops that from happening. Fuse come through.
nope, no time.
Though. That's unfortunate. The ARF, they know how to play with time. Honestly, as long as time is on
Switching
ARF's side,
sides.
there's nothing much that ARF can do. Sorry, Bigg can do.
Just barely did enough with the Guardian. And what did we say before this map even started, right? We knew that this would be close. Did we know that it was going to be this close? 6-6? Oh my goodness. I mean, Crescent with the flank was a smart call, but Big
They were ready
Scythe
for
reacted to that.
They
Yeah,
had 2 people waiting there.
exactly.
They didn't even peek. What they did was just wait. Like, oh right, they're shooting.
Which is,
Let them
again,
push out.
kind of looks like a problem that Big Scythe are gonna have to problem that ARF are gonna have to look to try and solve, because a lot of these rounds are won just because Big Scythe were able to find their way onto the site. Initially, the issue was that ARF lost too many players in the process of defending the site, that their retakes weren't able to work. Following this, though, they start to fall back, which just gave Big Scythe the sites completely. And then they tried to soften the blow using Counter Fury here and there from Efferlin. It didn't quite connect. It did not quite connect, and they weren't able to retake still, even though 5 players were alive. And that's just, it's rough. So we end this first half 6-6. I don't want to jinx it, but we're going to see overtime.
I have a feeling that we might, just because of the trades and blows. But it depends, because we all know that for Ascent, defense is a little better than attack. But seeing how they're doing on attack is already this good, they're gonna have more advantage on defense. I am very worried that they're not gonna be able to just kind of like close the gap at one point. Regardless, we see that big plays coming in from Yamori. And every single round, I have to say, economy-wise, even though they're winning those rounds, it's not necessarily like the biggest gap in economy, because it comes to a 1v1, it comes with 1 player left alive, they're all losing their guns. Even though you do get the plant, you win the round, but the amount of money that you have to spend in order to get your guns for the next round is a little bit more. So I think like what we need to do is to figure out how exactly can they increase their survivability, make sure it's not as close. Because so long as they can increase the gap in economy, it gives them so many rounds or so much more room for error, especially if something were to happen.
I think that's a good word to use, survivability, because sometimes it's the economy coming in, sometimes it's securing a long enough win streak. Other times it's also just positioning around the map itself. You need to position yourself in a way that you have some kind of escape room, some kind of wiggles room to work with, so that you're not just trapped in once you meet contact. So I think defending now for Big Scythe, they just might be able to do a little bit more than ARF. But then again, it could go either way. Both teams really are that evenly matched. Big Scythe on the attack now, so all eyes are going to be on Yamori.
Yeah, let's see how much space she can get. Here's a technical pause first, coming through. Wondering if ARF's internet, or rather connection, is doing well. But now, if you look at both duelists, I wouldn't say there's a big disparity between their score. 15-13, 9 deaths to 10, 1 assist to 2. I would say that Ru and Yamori are both in the same mindset, same game style play as well. But the difference between Ru and Yamori is the fact that as a Jet, you're a little bit more mobile, which is something that you kind of want on this map. Granted, we haven't really seen Yamori get those multi-frags just yet for that double dash. So it's a situation where you want to see, like, okay, if say Yamori is able to get double dash, 2 picks early, immediately dash away, imagine how much space she can take, especially towards CT side that she can clear.
Well, then again, they are on the attacking side, so she might be relegated to more of an just entry role, trying to dash in to create space for a team. Whether or not she can actually get 2 more kills after that's a whole other thing. For Rue, though, on the other hand, she's been rather proactive, especially on the attacking side from before. If she can do the same thing on the defense, maybe get into some forward positions and maybe get some sneaky corners, throw Bigg Scythe off guard, it really could be something that they could use. But at the same time, I mean, just to point out again, when we go back into the game screen, both teams are so evenly matched that all of them are in the same positions on the scoreboard against their counterpart roles. Duelist versus duelist on the top. Initiator versus initiator on the second. It's incredible how similar they are.
It's not like there's only one star player. It's everyone pulling their weight, everyone very confident in their own abilities, and that's what makes these two teams very similar. But for now, we are gonna go on a quick break, because after this, we're gonna be seeing the second half to see who exactly will be taking the first point. Don't go anywhere. Oh, sorry about that.
All good.
Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down.
ชอบสแต็กจากทีม DRX อะค่ะ Vision Striker เก่าอะค่ะเขาเล่นเป็นตัวซัพพอร์ตอะค่ะแล้วเราก็เล่นเป็นตัวซัพพอร์ตเขาเล่นเป็นตัวซัพพอร์ตได้ดีอะค่ะก็เลยชอบก่อนที่จะเริ่มแข่งนะคะก็ซ้อมแล้วก็ฝึกฝนตัวเองค่ะเล่น Valorant เยอะๆค่ะหาข้อผิดพลาดแล้วก็หาอะไรใหม่ๆมาเล่นนะคะร่วมกับทีมวอร์มอัพรูทีนตอนนี้ก็ถ้าเป็นส่วนใหญ่เลยนะคะก็จะยิงสนามยิงเป้าอะค่ะแล้วก็ยิงเดธแมทต่ำๆก็ประมาณ 5-10 เกมต่อวันนะคะอันดับ 1-3 โดยประมาณค่ะแล้วก็เล่นแรงอย่างน้อยก็ประมาณ5 เกมต่อวันค่ะถ้าตอนนี้เพลงที่ชอบไม่เชิงว่าชอบเท่าไหร่ค่ะแต่ก็เหมือนกับว่าหลอนอยู่ในหัวค่ะก็คงเป็นเพลงสักเพลงหนึ่งที่ชื่อผมอื้มอะค่ะอยู่ดีอยู่แคมป์ก็ปาร์ตี้กันอยู่แล้วก็มีคนเปิดเพลงนี้มาแล้วอยู่ดีมันก็แบบติดหูมาตลอดเลยค่ะเพลงเนี้ยif pistol ถ้าเป็นปืนพกอะค่ะจะชอบโกดมากกว่าคลาสสิกค่ะส่วนถ้าเป็นปืนหลักก็จะชอบแวนดอลค่ะถ้าให้เลือก150ปิงหรือจอ60 เฮิร์ตซ์ เลือกจอ 60 เฮิรตซ์มากกว่าค่ะเพราะว่าเคยเล่นจอ 60 เฮิรตซ์มาก่อนแล้ว ก็คิดว่าน่าจะเล่นได้ดีกว่า 150 ปิงค่ะถ้าให้คอสเพย์คงจะเป็นไวเปอร์ค่ะ เพราะว่าตัวมันสวยดีค่ะ แล้วก็เป็นเมนเอเจนต์ของเราด้วยค่ะ คิดว่าในทีมทั้ง 3 คนมีคนที่ขำๆน่าจะประมาณ 2-3 คนนะคะ ก็มีพี่จินมีซีโฟที่แบบเข้าขากันดีมากๆ ส่วนก็มีคนนึงเป็นเป็ดอะค่ะที่แบบอยู่ดีก็พูดอะไรตลกๆออกมาค่ะ ประมาณนี้ค่ะ น่าจะเป็นเพื่อนแล้วก็พี่น้องค่ะ เป็นฟิลครอบครัวค่ะสตรอเบอรี่ค่ะทำไมล่ะคะมันอร่อยค่ะ แล้วก็สีมันสวยค่ะ มันเป็นสีชมพู มันน่ารักดี ก็คงจะเป็น AE ค่ะ ที่เรายังไม่เคยชนะเขาในรอบชิงชนะเลิศค่ะ ก็เราจะพยายามชนะเขาให้ได้ เป้าหมายส่วนตัวก็แข่งเกมนี้ค่ะ ให้เป็นที่ 1 ของภูมิภาคค่ะ ก็เป็นแชมป์ของ APAC ประมาณนั้นค่ะ แล้วก็ถ้ามีเวิลด์ก็อยากมีโอกาสได้ไปแข่งเวิลด์ร่วมกับเพื่อนๆในทีมนี้ค่ะ ค่ะ ถ้าเป็นในช่วงระหว่างแข่งก็คงจะพยายามตั้งสติค่ะ แต่ก็ส่วนใหญ่จะได้แบบกำลังใจจากเพื่อนร่วมทีมมากกว่าค่ะ ว่าแบบถ้าทำพลาดก็แบบไม่เป็นไรเราโฟกัสวินใหม่วินหน้าอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ ส่วนถ้าเป็นหลังแข่งแล้วถ้าเรายังรู้สึกแบบแย่อยู่กับอะไรที่เราเล่นผิดพลาดไปก็คงจะอยู่คนเดียวค่ะอยู่กับตัวเองค่ะแล้วก็คิดทบทวนเรื่องที่ผ่านๆมาอะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะปัญหาของชีวิตตอนนี้ก็คือเบบี้ทีแซดค่ะชอบกินของกินแล้วอยู่ดีก็เอาขยะมากองไว้ที่โต๊ะของโพลี่อย่างเดียวเลยค่ะไม่ยอมเก็บชอบเยลลี่มากกว่าไข่มุกค่ะไม่เคยกินมัฟฟินเลยค่ะรู้จักแต่ชื่อแต่ไม่เคยกินเลยค่ะก็เลยบอกไม่ได้ชอบฮอตพอตมากกว่าค่ะชอบอะไรที่แบบมันสดได้อะค่ะรู้สึกว่ามันไม่ค่อยเลี่ยนเท่าไหร่ถ้าน้ำซุปที่มันอร่อยๆแล้วก็กินได้นานค่ะถ้าชอบที่สุดของพลอยน่าจะเป็นซีรีส์เกมออฟโทนค่ะชอบมากสนุกแล้วก็ดีที่สุดในใจแล้วค่ะก็ถ้าอยากคิดว่าแบบอยากจะเข้ามาแข่งเกมแล้วก็อยากจะมาเป็นฟิลอะไรโปรเพลเยอร์อะไรอย่างนี้แบบที่พลอยกำลังทำอยู่ก็แค่อยากให้มีความตั้งใจจริงๆค่ะแล้วก็มีความขยันฝึกฝนตัวเองขึ้นมาค่ะส่วนใหญ่ก็คือหลักๆเลยคือความตั้งใจที่แน่วแน่ค่ะเดี๋ยวก็ประสบความสำเร็จเองค่ะส่วนใหญ่พลอยจะไม่ค่อยได้ทำงานอดิเรกอะไรค่ะก็มีแค่เล่นกับหมาประมาณนั้นนะคะเล่นกับหมาแล้วก็นั่งดูซีรีส์ค่ะแล้วก็มีไปรีแลกซ์เล่นเกมอื่นบ้างค่ะ
X teams versus X teammates, and here we go again. Hey, I'm Quack, this is Tash, and we are here with the VCT Game Changers APAC LCQ lower bracket. One of these teams are gonna have to go home, and I think we're rolling back to the last round of the first half because there were some technical issues.
Honestly, really curious to see how it's gonna go out. Because it was 6-6 from what we saw earlier. Is it gonna be a 7-5? It's gonna be the question here that we wanna answer. Regardless, we've seen some really big plays. Some players to look at right now. Yamori still very, very much cracked. At the same time, if you look at ARF, Crescents, those big picks are just so good.
I mean, she's certainly been finding a lot of impactful moments, like you said, like high impact potential. Sometimes she just knows how to read situations perfectly. Wraps back around, like even if they have the A site captured and the spike planted, she'll go all the way through catwalk just to flank the her opponent's Bigg Scythe on the retake. Like it's kind of smart, but you know, it's only one or two impact frags. Sometimes they don't win the duels, and that's where we find these even scenarios. Okay, we're actually sticking with 6-6, so into the second half we go, Tash.
I'm really curious to know what exactly happened there. But for now, look at stats here. It's all very, very close when you think about it.
Yeah, like I said, right? Duelist versus duelist on top, and then like initiator versus initiator on the second.
That's how it's supposed to be. For now, look at where Rue is. Not afraid to take up space here. Usually we see Jet do this just because she has that dash. Baru, she must be very, very okay with taking her time with the satchels. Legit Queen, gonna use the Seize, does take the damage from that shock dart. Regardless, you do hear the orb farm. It's gonna be toward Mochi. I'm curious to see if Mochi is gonna be using that orb to just kind of like play around with their minds in terms of where they want to plant, or is she gonna just kind of like teleport the backside, catch them off guard with those flanks? Regardless, you see the repositioning coming through from Presence. And Presence was like, okay, we heard something, I'm just gonna go straight to mid now. Imagine, they're like, I was about to go to B, guys.
Margot kind of heard something too. That's why she was pinging out to her team to hold that position. However, what they were really doing was just to use that dark cover to rotate over onto A short. It's gonna be an A split right now.
30 seconds left.
Much space, but the P-shells come through. Rue still gets it. 40 HP though, regardless. There's still a bit of work for her teams to do. Gravity well, just buy some time. But look at how much space they've already taken. But Shabby good for one, but Giver not gonna allow her another one. That Haunt gonna show exactly where everyone is, but Mochi with the flanks. Mochi good for two. No one knows she was there, but Margot out rotating her. What an inception of events.
Recalling my bow.
I rotate, you rotate.
But suddenly, it's quiet.
enemy
Here,
player
Riz on the
standing.
corner, but here's Giver against one. It's gonna be two.
Oh,
Not quite,
my.
was with Legit Queen. Just a little bit better. Gonna get that defuse. I have to say, it's still closer than ever in terms of their scores.
Push a button. Save the day.
Incredibly close again. It comes down to the last lone survivor. This time it just happened to be Legit Queen because ARF had the sensibility to leave Margot around on the lurk. I mean, the rotations were already underway, so they were all coming in from defender spawn rather than the lobby or anything like that. But it just happened to be that Margot was going to outflank Mochi.
That was a rotate on rotate. What time?
Bring them down.
Probably Mochi could have done more damage if that wasn't stopped. Regardless, the Seize does come through just to buy some time. Shadow Swarm as well, but Margot not afraid to push out. So it makes her so great. But how many people is gonna go? They know they're close now because of that Prowler, but look at his face. One doesn't bring anyone down. Legit Queen one, Giver does got one in return, and that's a frenzy kill.
Where are
Haunt's still there.
Mark
They
3.
check them out. They know they're there. Unfortunately, no Odin. Can't wallbang that.
Or an Ares, but whatever it is, still big info, and it's good enough for them to know that they're either going to be hitting towards B main still, or rotating back. That said, though, this is a 4-on-4, so you're going to have to be very considerable about how you want to commit your resources. Over-rotate, and that could be a big problem for ARF as well.
Scaru is still waiting. They have a nice cross here.
Here.
But without Margot, mid, completely bare. Just gonna wall that off. Gonna be broken.
30 seconds
Thankfully
left.
able to just cross, but Haunt does pick off one. No reaction yet from Legit Queen. Still takes the damage from the shock dart regardless. They already have so much space. No resistance. They would rather just wait to retake instead of going in and dying one by one. But for
Okay.
now, Green shells clearing out that area, satcheling through here. And Rue knows at least B main is clear. They're not taking any chances. Just taking their time to take that space. They know there's at least one inside a boathouse. And Giver had to move all the way back in the corner. Shabby fights Mochi, but for now, look at that cross coming through. From this by Shabby and Giver fights Legit Queen. Rue, good for two! I am loving the fact that they take the time to clear everything before finally committing.
Yeah,
I love
Big Scythe playing some of these angles and unorthodox positions, all of them on site, which might seem a little bit unusual, but it's really just because they have those pistols. They work better in those close-range duels. Some of them looking other ways being exposed meant that they would lose some players, but really, the spike being planted and doing enough economical damage to ARF in that round was big enough for them, because now they got all those rifles. Meanwhile, ARF, Sheriffs, Frenzies, and Spectres. Literal water guns, just because some of them have the Neptune skin on.
Funny for you to say that. But look at that combo. Fortunately, no one came through
C's
there.
plus paint shells.
Painful.
No one, yeah. All of them headed towards A main right now, where only Shabby is there to stop them.
I'm not too sure if they actually have the intent to. Never mind. Picked it up eventually. The door. Spots out Shabby here immediately. Just gonna react by putting up the Nebula. It's gonna be really hard to push in that. So let's hit it up. Change our minds again. Where do you want to eat? I don't know.
Yeah, it really is like that. It really is though, because like Big Scythe, it's like, where do you guys want to go? I don't know. Let's try A. They see something, a little bit of resistance, like, okay, well maybe not this place. Let's try something else. And it's this very loose back and forth style that kind of actually leaves gaps in their attack.
Shabby is training for the Olympics.
Okay.
Just waiting for time here. They do know spot the knife. They know that at least it's not there. Immediately, Yamori taking up space
30
there.
seconds
Immediately
left.
closing the door. Clearing out the area, trying to take up CT. Mochi eventually does find Shabby in return. 46 HP left for Scaru. We do hear the teleport come through though. We also have the lockdown as well. Combo Wombo coming through. And Scaru, she has the heal, bringing her back to 100. But
Careful
if you
here.
look at ARF, they're okay with taking time. Just to kind of just play together. But look, Yamori spot the one, maybe two, not quite. Margot was there with the Mini Spectre. Gets a nice upgrade, I have to say. Used the turret just to kind of like speak on there, but the Giver was ready to receive it. Mochi as well. Mochi, we love seeing her step up. And this is her doing that. Look at that. Look at that. Let's going together on A main and CT. I wish I had teammates like that.
Finding those frags, but still, when it comes down to it, I thought it might have been a little bit of a gap, but really it was an intentional play by dropping Mochi off on A site to lurk, knowing that as soon as they hit the B site, the rotations would come through, allowing for Mochi to find a frag. It's a smart play. That said, ARF this time actually not as tight on the defense. They're leaving some spaces open, and that's what allowed Big Scythe into the site itself.
I'm liking that idea. I never thought that it would be possible. Omen, lurk, teleport, play with team. Don't expect them there. Would have thought she would have though. Because the ultimate is there. And immediately gets spotted out by that alarm bot.
Wow.
You saw some shots come through as well.
Good time.
Immediately she gave away that space, but that's okay because now you know that alarm bot is not there to be used.
Turret down.
Shots coming through. She's ready to flash out, but here's the haunt. Gets destroyed. Marco just waiting. Ooh, onto Yamori. Big pick for them. Straight to the head, but look at Mochi as well. She has a headshot of her own. Both teams just exceeding expectations when it comes to these picks.
Oh, I love it. Again, incredibly evenly matched. Both sides trading one frag. Not even in the same spot, though. All across the map. One mid, one B main. And we're back to a 4-on-4. A little bit more room to work with.
30 seconds left.
However, the footsteps have been heard. It comes down to whether or not Shabby as well as Crescent can hold down the site.
No Yamori, hard to take up space on the site.
20
They have
seconds.
no choice but to play with each other. At least running off from info. Running through right now, sprays come through. Look at Crescent! It's a firing range as ARF just takes up all of those members of Big Scythe.
A firing range, a bloodbath, a grinder, whatever you want to call it. My MVP of that round is definitely Crescent's. Not just because of those frags, but also the fragment that she dropped at the right time. Big Scythe really wanted to push past A main in that instant, despite the Nebula, despite spotting Shabby towards the back. But because of that one fragment, they couldn't push through. They were all relegated to the back, and it's set up for the perfect off-angle duel. And ARF stand at 9 and 7.
Really great on defense. Because they were able to take up so much space, especially on attack. The flash does come through. Spray and pray. No one gets anything, but Crescent still got one, and Margot there to assist. Nanoswap is gonna not allow them to get onto site as they reposition. Legit Queen playing aggressive. She knows that she can. Just wait for them to just push in. But here's Giver. I think she spots out the gun barrel. Didn't quite see them cross just now. For now does spot out one. Sees Mochi. But for now for Giver, Pain Shells does not reach her. Only a tiny chip damage is enough. Prowler as well as the Roomba. Just gonna give them enough information. They have to back away. They're running out of time. They have to take up the space. It has to be this side. But Afrolin, still waiting. She does still have the recon. Mochi. Just gonna try and get one shot out. Try to get some information here. Take some time. Wait for the Nebula to go away. Wall banging through. But for now, look at Crossfire. But Giver still back in the room. Shabby does straight out. Shabby good for 2!
Spike down A.
Shabby? It was Crescents that will get the last one. It's looking real good for ARF.
Their defense has actually been secured better than ever before. Just because of the utility setup that they have, and not to mention, again, Crescents. A sudden push, and it's something that Big Scythe didn't quite expect. And they're very hesitant about pushing out of the Nebulas, which allows for Shabby to pull off shenanigans just like that.
I was expecting them to at least, because you don't have a flash, they only have the Paranoia. If they had perhaps a KO, the flashed out, push in, different dynamic, different agents. But now, it's back to where are we going again?
It's not just that though. This is ARF now, the first team to hit double digits. Plus Big Scythe on the eco, we're very likely going to see an 11. ARF are sitting on 3 ultimates as well. You cannot deny that they have so much momentum on their side.
We've seen some really great thrifties from them. Yamori is out of the way, so that's not gonna happen. Sprays out. Look at how she plays with her utilities.
What is that?
One enemy remaining.
As well as Margot getting Mochi. Just playing off of information. Neatly, that reaction comes through. Now here's Rue. Mine's Giver in the end.
Beautiful.
You don't have to play those big flashy plays.
It's a flawless win. Big maybe not like insanely big flashy, but definitely flashy in the form of Crescents and her pump flashes. Her flash point. It's crazy.
So
and now
good.
11-7, Tash, you know, we called it. If Big Scythe don't win this round, that's it. It's over. Because that means ARF are sitting at match point. Big Scythe economy in shambles. It's a problem.
The most horrible thing is letting the enemy go up to 12 points and you being on eco. It's so hard to land that thrifty.
And 5 ultimates, I just noticed it. 5 ultimates all available, all online for ARF.
They don't have to use all of them. They can use just a few now and a few later. Just to really, really secure the round.
Exactly.
Just the fact that Crescents is just such big impacts with how she uses her utils. I thought it was going to be an issue at least for her, because having her as initiator got them so much space on the site. But even on defense, how she uses her utils has been huge. More selfish. Very similar to what we expect from Famous. Regardless, let's see what Big has figured out. It's not really the biggest point deficit.
Big Scythe desperately need this round. Oh, and here comes Rue. Instantly double satchelating over on the tile. She's got her showstopper. Might want to use it. Just thinking twice. They have control over the middle, and this means that Big Scythe has no choice to push into the main.
Get those picks, Yamori and Mochi. Shabby is good for 1 though. You have control of the spike. Not allowing that popping. The nanoswarm doesn't allow them to rotate at least through mid. Skaru taking that ultimate, trying to get that revive out. It's gonna have to wait a little bit though. It's gonna be 7 seconds that they have to. They need to get some teammates back. In this case, Mochi back in the game. And as for ARF,
nothing
down
left.
for 2. They still can do something. They do have the ultimate. They can get those picks if they want.
I think it's a little bit risky. Rue's certainly thinking about it, but because of this one wall, now she can't anymore. Scaraboo just completely blocking it off. It's a 3-on-5 retake, and a single moment of hesitation from ARF cost them
Planted.
2 players.
Got punished for their aggression. For now, here comes the Man. They use that, but there's also the lockdown as well. Gonna use everything to or die. Scaru go for 1 Giver as well. Rue, but Yamori and Giver, they're saying we want this round. Keeping the dream alive.
What? I was not quite expecting the lockdown. That is such a heavy commitment for a 3-on-5 retake.
I would
see what they were going
for. Waited for the lockdown to take effect first, because where are you gonna go? You don't have to push in with the lockdown personally. Imagine if all of them were on the site stuck. It's already an instant win.
You could see what they were thinking of, or what they were going to go for, but I think they just quite weren't expecting Big Scythe to fight back that way. They're back into it now, and once bitten, twice shy. ARF not pushing aggressively anymore.
Learning from their mistakes, not wanting that over time. Yamori knows that Legit Queen is mid, but Mochi does get spotted here into the knife. Gets rid of 1 Prowler, at least slows to the back of sight so that no one can swing together. Seize comes through. Thankfully does not hit anyone. Scaru still waiting here.
It's so much.
And they're both out of Prowlers. No more Prowlers for ARF. Presence, this is a log area, and we know that if they don't check the area, it's very detrimental. Shabby, unfortunately, doesn't hit her shots there onto Scaru.
It's a lot of utility spent just for this one position.
Oh my god!
But here comes Crescent again! What?
Catches them off guard! What a play! Here comes the showstopper. Doesn't get any value though. Just trying to buy space and time. But it's only Giver and Afron left.
30 seconds
they
left.
need to get match point to put themselves in the right mindset.
I need a replay of that play from Crescent, but here he comes. Back towards the middle, and Rue and Shabby both know where they are, setting up for the crossfire now. Big Scythe, this is so dangerous.
Flawless.
Come on!
How can you not check pizza?
Match
Pizza
point.
is there. You look at pizza, you feel happy.
think-
And you get a kill.
Look at pizza, you feel happy. I think they got distracted by the initial, the other peak that they saw.
Yeah, they didn't realize that there's another one waiting there.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Bait and switch is what they were known for yesterday. So, aren't surprised that they're doing it again today.
it's unfortunate, but here we are in this situation. Big Scythe, they have some ultimates to work with, but again, not the best weaponry. 1 Sheriff in the hands of Aferlin. She's gonna have to play back and make use of the Hunter's Fury if she really wants to make this round count. But again, this is match point for ARF.
They're
You
all
should
fully
run.
locked and loaded. Here is the lockdown. ARF, are you gonna give the site, or are you just gonna wait? Patients are gonna come through, but look at the fake. Look where Mochi is. They push out of B. They're already expecting it at least a mid-site.
And Yamori's going into sight.
They're not believing it, at least. Just yet. Just the bait is there. But look, they're still waiting. It's nothing
Oh,
is
no.
real. They do find Yamori. Crescent's quick with her shots. Really sees the slow come through, and they said, okay, this is the real hit. We saw a teleport coming as well from Mochi. But Mochi gonna win that gunfight. Legit Queen just waiting, not able to get outside. They do get the mark at least. Coming in there from Crescent.
Spike
Still
planted.
wins it regardless. Doesn't matter if you check out pizza or not. Okay. Check the area, but they do know there's at least someone on B main. Giver still wins this gunfight. Mochi waiting. Marco rotating inside, finds Giver. Mochi on the one side, still
30
finds Crescent at least. But for now, they're just
enemy
playing with
remaining.
the wall. Legit Queen
Nice.
still there to trade out Mochi. There is a Prowler just to clear out backside. 2 on 1.
Enemy
It's only
remaining.
Scaru. Good for 1, Scaru. Make this happen. Good for 2. Are you gonna clutch this?
This is what I trained for.
She keeps the dream alive. 9-12.
In a 1v2 scenario, Scaru just comes up for her team. And that's exactly what you need, especially when your backs are against the wall. A good attempt with Aferlin holding off on the lurk towards Pizza, but with a Sheriff, unfortunately, it's just the shot would not land. It's not accurate enough. So off the win, now they get to buy back in. Some light shields, but because it's all Vandals, that's okay. It's Afrolin with the Bulldog, and still with the Hunter Shrew, still with the ultimates that just might be able to bring them back into overtime. Big Scythe now. This is their round.
It's only round number 1. First game of the series is already this explosive. Some shots being traded here and there. Nothing to really deter anyone just yet. I don't see a gravity well being used there, just to kind of help Crescents get the pick, but immediately you see Giver just back off. Haunt, hear that happening. Not gonna mark anyone. But look at where the spike is. It's Afrolin, all alone with it, taking the long rotation. Here comes Rule! We don't realize that she's all the way in the back on Wine. Knife as well, not hitting anyone as well.
So they know that it's not coming towards A. They know that there are players towards middle or B, which is why I think, well, Margot should be prepared for this. She does get that first one, and now expects for even more.
She waited till the last second, but Legit Queen was waiting. Nice angle. No. I don't think she realized still though, but for now Margot playing this area. 1-2! Not 2. Afrolin was good for the trade with the Bulldog. Fine, that's immediately going forward. Express with 1. Teammate on the backside. That is the pain shells, and the defuse will be coming through. Unfortunately, this first series going to ARF isn't really an unfortunate
Defenders
though.
win.
This is their map picks, and they're gonna be happy with this win.
Rather close, but when it came down to it, especially at the start of the second half, ARF chained enough defense rounds that put them out on top in terms of momentum. They had so many ultimates and they had so many pieces of utility that really came together. And at the end of it, I think Big Scythe just had a tough time working against that. So that's what it is now, 9-12. I mean 9-13, excuse me.
9-12 is what we're hoping for the comeback to happen. It did come back for a little while. But that's the thing about ARF. They still managed to change it up a little bit. I have to say, we don't really see a lot of movement from them early. You can go default as many times as you want. They're not gonna be baited. You are gonna be seeing some aggressive, at least some proactive plays, but they're gonna make sure that they at least survive those initial sort of picks. And I think the idea that Bigg has is get one pick, immediately hit the site. But when you are playing so far back or so far forward and catch them off guard, what can you do?
Yeah, then there are also some of those rounds where you can see that they're trying to go for some kind of big brain play, some kind of a fake, but unfortunately it wasn't really sold completely. And that's why at the end of it, 13-9, you have to give credit to Crescents. I mean, so many scenarios, not just with the highest number of frags, but also the highest number of impactful frags. Timing of some of those flanks, the timing of some of those pop flashes, the fragment just to throw it down, blocking off A-main completely against Bigg. I mean, she certainly is the MVP of this entire map.
Using Margot on attack for flanks has been one of the most interesting yet amazing things I've seen. But when you look at how they play, it's a flank on flank. That Margot's timing has been absolutely impeccable because they are already expecting a flank coming in, at least from Mochi. But it's closer than we thought, despite the stats. Every round is close.
It really is close, but again, ARF had the momentum. Like round 16 onwards, or maybe even round, I think, 13 onwards, that's where we saw ARF come up huge. It's a dark night for Big Scythe, and Crescents is shining brightly like the moon. So that's what we have for now. We're gonna have to see what happens when they go on into the next map, Tash. It's tough.
It's honestly tough, but when you see how they play, both teams have very similar gameplay and mindset, especially on how they hold the site. When you look at both Bigg as well as ARF, it's very similar positioning. So it's kind of easy for them to actually kind of anticipate where each other is going to be, which is why those trades on trades are just constantly happening.
Yeah, so many of these trades, so many of these fights are incredibly close. But then again, we see some standout performances. Yamori in this clip right now. I think she could have done maybe a little bit more in the second half, though.
I think
on the
what-
attacking side, yeah.
I think what was the difference between Yamori on, say, probably I would say, a high impact agent like, say, a KO or a Sky, is the fact that when she is able to play out details like Crescent, that is when we really see Yamori truly shine. Now the problem with her being on Jet is, it's not like she's not great at getting those shots, it's more that her teammates were not able to assist her to get the information for her to play, so she's not enabled. It's not really anyone's fault, it's just more of like the defenses coming in for ARF was a little bit too much.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's just, it's a different agent. You don't have that combo potential like a Seize plus paint shell sort of thing. You have to just dash in alone, and you need your teammates to back you up in that form. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but you know, we're just gonna have to go into Icebox to see what happens on that map. That's the second one that we've got. Are we going to see Big Scythe get sent home? Or are we gonna see ARF lose one map and then we're going to map number 3? Who knows, Tash? But for all you guys at home, you're just gonna have to find out after this break. Don't go away, don't click that X. We will be back pretty soon.
Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. We back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends.
Well, come back to the VCT Game Changers APAC. Sorry, Dash. LCQ. Once again, Bigg Scythe versus ARF. It came close, but towards the end of it, ARF just showed that they played defense a little bit better than Bigg Scythe. They came in with a win streak, and now on towards Icebox, another map that kind of favors that defensive style. Who knows who will really come out on top?
Personally, the fact that Ascent is picked by ARF and won by ARF is already really telling at how well they know the map. But now we're going into Bigg Scythe's pick. And as I said before, I mean, this earlier in the day when we saw first series, I was taken aback because I thought that Icebox would be a super fun, high hit, fast map because it's a map that we usually see people play aggressive. But X10S showing us that there is another different way to play this map. And I'm really hoping to see if Bigg is gonna go aggressive or are they gonna play it very, very slow and just take their time.
Absolutely. I mean, there are many different ways to play this one, and just judging by how they played in group stages, both teams have actually performed rather well. I mean, taking 13-2s against other teams. The thing is, though, they have very different compositions. Bigg Scythe, based on what they've played before, they go in with a double duelist setup, something like a blast from the past. I don't know how effective that actually could be. I mean,
You've seen it
pulling
work.
out Arena.
We've seen it.
Yeah, they make it work, but it's something that we don't see that often.
I mean, one thing I noticed from Game Changers is that the girls really like Reyna, and I understand why. It's not because that Reyna takes up space, but rather Reyna can just do her own thing and just go away from the team, play on her own, get those picks because she's able to just go in and out, while the other members can just play together. So it's a very versatile pick. But other than Reyna, if you go Jet as well as Raze is also really good as well. Jet taking up space, Raze falling from the back. You take up two different parts of the site, which can also be really good. Maybe a Jet behind yellow, Raze going onto site itself. So it's a very, very versatile pick. But what you trade out in terms of having a double duelist means you don't have those utils. So you really need those agents that have really high impact in terms of their utilities instead.
So then the question becomes, right, does Bigg Scythe have that? Do they have that in the form of the other agents that they pick? We've got Mochi on the Viper instead of Omen this time, just because it's Icebox. Effelin still on the Sova, and then Giver on the Chamber. Is that enough, Tash? What do you think?
Giver on Chamber has been getting a lot of value. So it's gonna be really good seeing them play on that. And on top of that, if you look at how they play in terms of how we've seen yesterday, just the fact that we're seeing that, you know, those usual staples on the map as well is really good. I mean, it depends on how exactly they want to play this map, slow or aggressive. It depends on how exactly they want to place those utils. I think the best placements of utilities we've seen today have been from X10S on how dominating they can be on the map. But then again, they are running this comp without a duelist. They prefer those utilities over that firepower.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for sure. Utilities versus firepower is always the kind of trade-off that you want to go for. And that's why I think when we compare them, Bigg Scythe, to ARF, it's Chamber versus Chamber right now, and Shabby versus Giver. And I think, honestly, Giver might actually be the one that comes out on top of that. Taking a look at some of the statistics that we have, yeah, Giver actually comes out with higher ACS scores, higher headshot percentages, higher kill deaths. It's rather different, but then again, this could come down to the fact of the different teams that they play against.
Literally,
or the number of times they play.
I think Chamber was made for Giver. Just from how you see her play, on how she gets those headshots. I can see Afrolin, but honestly, why move Afrolin to another agent when she's doing so well on the Sova already? So it's really honestly a question of how exactly the execution is all gonna be, and I'm really curious to see what exactly they're gonna do. Regardless, it's only speculation. Things can still change as the agents come through. I think Legit Queen has been really good on Fade.
That's true. We can theory craft as much as we want, but down into the server, that's where we start to see things shape up. Again, I'm just curious if Big Scythe are actually going to go in with that double duelist, because I think that while you are trading in a lot, while you're trading in a lot, you're also giving away a lot, and that's where we might see ARF come up huge. That's how we saw them perform on Ascent. It's gonna be a rough ride. I mean, Sage, Crescents, the walls that she could use.
So many off angles, so many rat plays she can do as well, defensively and aggressively. It suits her playstyle. But when you look at the other side, personally, I just like a Sage wall for those post-plant diffusals. Really gives your team so much space for that diffuse. But on the other side, we're not seeing a Sage for Big Scythe. And my question is, I mean, yes, they do have Yamori. I guess their idea is take up space so you don't need that utility to protect the teammates. But as for Mochi yesterday, she has been very impactful on the Viper on Breeze. So I'm kind of hoping to see that again from her. But Margot, her track record has just been impressive, whether it comes to Sentinel or Controller. She does it both with style.
Well, that's what we get from the ex-Alter Egos Lost player after all. That said though, looking at ARF's defensive setup right now, this is a little bit worrying, Tash. They only have Marco on the A site. If Bigg take her down instantly, that's it. That's all we get.
Believe in Margot and what you can do with her toxic wall. She hasn't actually put it up just yet, so this is good. But they don't know that she's here. I wanted to believe. Never mind. I believe now. That's a lot of damage as Afrolin will be opening it up, getting Crescents out of the way. That's perfect for them. No Sage.
Oh man.
Means no defensive walls. And no Crescents mean no headshots.
Rue is down to 1 HP too. This is very easy for Big Scythe just to overrun the B site. This might even bait out some over rotations if you think about it. Big are rotating back towards B. If they can take Rue, if they can take down Shabby, that's the whole site that belongs to them.
Big, play it quiet, cut the noise. B is where they want to hit.
Scaru?
30
Look
seconds
at that.
left.
Really shooting out is gonna be Shabby, not landing the shots, but Margot does find Scaru in the end. It's rough.
B site though.
Look at B site, full control, 1 HP. Green Shell took on 2. Just buy some time. Have to just move away.
10
Plant
seconds.
does come through. They do have some time. Rue, but look at this area that Mochi is covering. Straight to the head. Doesn't matter if you're full life or not. You are going to be going down. But Shabby does find Yamori in the end.
Teleport's ready.
She's so low.
She is low. 13 HP
Surely
left.
they can find her.
Margot, she can play just behind this toxic screen. Gets the upgrade. Unfortunately, bounces off. Not a good time for her. But Legit Queen is ready for the trade. Has to push out. Moves it back. She did manage to get it. Sprays out. Give her gets 2. Give her with the headshots. Applin gets 1 more. And Big starting off real strong for that.
That's not what we wanted. Margot, big value in blocking off the A site on her own, by the way. But with the poison cloud, it's just happened to bounce off the spike. That's not meant to happen. And then it comes down to Big Scythe just being able to find a lot of these opening shots, opening picks, as some players from ARF pushed out of garage. Rue being down to 1 HP, Shabby being banged up and down to about 10 as well. Let's see what happens on the next one. They've got 3 Bulldogs to work with.
No buy at all.
Wait, what?
Oh my god. Still gets Yamori. Let's give her on chamber.
We hunting for hits.
Yeah, she sees 1. She gets it. Shabby does get picked off by the recon. Really repositions, takes back the space. Shock dart just to clear out that area. Now Big playing it very, very slow. Without Yamori, no one to play those aggressive, big impact plays, especially take up space. But that snake bite gonna clear out the area on the backside. Now Big Scaru. But I say Big, no clue. But she did manage to take some of the sight there. They do know Shabby's in the backside. They don't know there's two. Rue gets one. Giver gonna go up top. But for now, Scaru gonna quickly avenge her friend. Crescents finds Giver in the end. 30 HP left for Giver. All she has to work with is a satchel. Her teammates are there. There comes the heal as well. But Afterlane from the top side. Spray and pray. Rue from the side as well. Finds Scaru in the backside. Afterlane from the side. Sprays down.
Oh my god.
Finds Rue. 1-on-1. Closer. And I thought despite the gun diff, 8 bullets is all she has left. 95 HP as well. But all she has left is spray! But doesn't really matter when you hit the head.
Oh my god.
Lost all of their guns. And you have to remember, ARF did not buy, not even shields.
That came way too close for comfort, but thankfully Afrolin saved the day along with her team as well. Again though, this puts us in a bad spot for the next round. They won't be able to buy back with that much. Sheriffs is all we get. They hit the site and they got it good, but when it came down to the retakes, they started to get a little bit greedy, hunting for some frags, and in close range scenarios, ARF will be able to do quite a bit of damage. So now, full arsenal. They're playing further back.
Scaru.
ARF.
Look at her utils. She only has propane shells. No satchels. There's up space. They're playing it a little bit more slow. They want to pop some heads. They want to make it expensive as they can. Give her. We know that she can pop heads if she wants. Wall is expended. Buy some time. Gonna break it. Snake bite gonna buy more time as well. Hard to push in when there's so many utils in the way. Crescents, they're not going to be over peeking either. They're not going to go over aggressive. They want to be able to play it slow. They know that Yamori can pop hits. It's going to be Margot with the opening shot onto Mochi. No more smokes for that. Giver.
There.
Moving away. Yamori is all alone onto B, and I think Yamori is probably saying it's empty for now. We do know there's at least 3 or 2 on A, but Shabby is the one to find Yamori first.
And this is starting to look like a similar setup to what we saw from X10 earlier on. ARF, we got the chamber, we got Shabby locking down B site, and she's doing it by herself.
Giver does find
Just
a
enough
queen.
to hold them back.
Goals. Giver return spray and pray from Shabby. Didn't quite get it. 40 HP left. Waiting for her teammates instead. These goals do come through. Scaru gonna be found by Crescent in the end. Everyone at the bottom. But Shabby, she jumps down. She still gets it. I know they want to make it expensive, but only legit queen went down.
Giving the defuse to Shabby as well, so she'll have Porta Force for next round. What a play from ARF. I mean, it's that barrier orb from Crescents that we see towards pipes, towards maze, completely blocking it off, and even if they break down a panel, it's going to be so precarious for them to push on through because crossfire setup. And it's comboed with Margot as well. Remember the snake bite plus slow orb that we saw from the first series today? It's so good that Big Scythe have no choice but to go back to B, and that's where Shabby's lying in wait. I might have talked up about Giver being a better chamber, but I think I'm proven wrong. Shabby's actually landing so many of her headhunter shots as well as those vandal headshots.
This clears out the entire B long area.
Oh, this time playing towards bottom 2.
Look at those walls.
Positions changed up. Yeah, different walls as well. This is a very aggressive wall that just blocks off a site, and Bigg aren't even there.
Not really sure. They're already hitting onto B. Yamori, we haven't been able to see those big plays just yet, just because she's been playing alone and just gets caught off guard by Shabby. Again and again, Toxic Orb will go down eventually. Mochi just watching for those flanks here. For now, Shabby might get it. She does. It's gonna be oh my god! Mochi as well. Yamori. They got them all. Unfortunately, third one not gonna hit though. It doesn't really matter. They lost so many in that mid rotation. Let's find Rue though.
Huh?
So we'll give her an Afrolin.
Okay.
They can make the value if they're able to isolate.
30 seconds left.
We'll be trying stopping the air against getting the chip damage. They does hit, but not a lot. Doesn't get any value, at least from the Aldro, as they're all hiding after playing this corner. She's already squatted down, and she does down the headshot, but Shabby with the 3K to pocket to Aflin. That's 4. just Shabby with the tour de force. They're like, thank you for letting me have all these orbs.
They gave it to her in the previous round, and she fully utilized it this round. What a way to come back in. And now she's sitting at the top of the scoreboard, eight kills and 2 deaths. it's just big. I mean, a little bit interesting for how Giver was able to sneak past pipes that way. But still, I mean, look at this
How
flick.
fast is that? It was a very close corner. It's very hard.
Quadruple kill.
We believe
So now
in
Big
Shabby
Scythe forced back
supremacy.
to eco.
You want to
Change your
play?
mind, right?
Let's
No more
play.
Giver supremacy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
And
hard
that's-
to
that's
do
all
that on attack though, on defense.
Oh,
It's a little bit better to utilize.
This toxic screen is very.
Wow, why is there a...
All set up.
Oh, sometimes a little bit of a gap just because the.
the shape of the terrain.
Hmm.
It's probably all planned, honestly. When you think about it. You never know what these pro players could come up with. Especially in terms
I
of
like it.
lineups. Me too.
It makes it a little bit tougher to slow them down as they try to push past maze, but if they want to peek into you, they have to do it while decayed, and that's the value that it provides. Not to mention this barrier coming up from Crescents now as well. It's stalling and holding Big Scythe back. 50 seconds left. They need to make a decision soon.
That is an interesting wall. They can see feet there. So they can just like spam the bottom side, but it's gonna be Rue. They managed to get this headshot to go Sparrow straight to the head.
Down
Doesn't
A.
need a rifle. All you need is a sheriff giver. That's fine, Margot's take in return. Crescents finds
30
one, but
seconds
Yamori
left.
gonna trade it out.
Come on.
The overheal as well.
Deploying drone.
Spike
Queen left. Give her the tour de force. She's happy to just say, I too can pop hits, just like Shabby.
Teleport's ready.
Spot out one.
Nice.
That's a very nice angle to work with. Just trying to bait them
She
out. But
repeated
look
it.
at Afrolin. To try help her teamate.
All those
That's
shots were
recon as
spent.
well. Do you know that Afrolin is there? No, she doesn't! Beautiful bait and switch. Yamori finds the chick queen behind the box.
What
Beautiful
on
thrifty.
earth?
Listen, we saw these thrifties yesterday, and Big says, let's bring it back today.
All right, that's great. Bring it back. And just on time, too, to put themselves back on top. Completely changing things up. It was 4 sheriffs and 1 tour de force. And that's all it took. ARF has such a strong setup. I mean, that diagonal toxic screen. We were talking about Crescents with that sort of one-way sage wall. But it still wasn't enough. They just didn't care. They pushed up front really close, and somehow ARF weren't quite able to out-duel them.
Thrifty! You get that value, and that value first is gonna come from Shabby. Without Afrolin, it's gonna be really hard to get onto the site because you don't know, you can't get the information. What more do you have other than Afrolin? Scaru's stuck.
Teleport's ready.
Man. Pins down. The only way she can get out is to use this blast pack, but still.
Shabby still gets her though! Look at that!
Well, Giver finding one towards yellow is good enough. Question is, will she be able to take down Crescents as she rotates back around, repositioning?
Battle stage? Not quite as Mochi.
Aw,
Wins out that
Deploying
wall
drone.
banging through. Beautiful sprays. Chick
good
queen.
sage wall though.
It really is. Buy some time. Well, she does have the Viper's Pit. Just waiting first. Putting out the toxin. Recon, they're gonna value, is really gonna drop that. Now, they're able to just at least plant a little bit deeper if they want
30
to.
seconds left.
That snake bite, just to kind of buy time. When you never do that.
Last
Look at that
player standing.
Roomba as well as the shock dart! I feel so sorry for Giver! You do it! You do, Mochi! So I was hoping that she can go forward and get that pick. When we have 3 people running at you, what can you do?
That's one way to deal with the Viper's Pit, Tash. Send in that Roomba.
Send in a shock dart! Everything!
And we are back into it again, 3-3. Once again, incredibly back and forth between the two teams. And this time around, once more, my MVP, Crescents. She might have lost her life, but this one wall bought enough time for a team to rotate over, and not to mention just the utility that they were able to play off of. It's just so back and forth. Shabby with the operator still as well. You never quite know where she could be. She's been playing on A for the past 2 rounds. This time headed towards mid.
It's a good place to be when you think about it. Catch them if they're rotating away from A, because they can't exactly go into A anymore. But the walls from Crescents, you know that she loves doing this.
Oh,
Sneaky corner. They do know. Here comes the party! Gonna find Crescents! Yes, it does! Legit Queen on the top. Finds her in return. That is gonna be a trade at least. Shock Dart. Let's get some chip damage. Legit Queen will be chipped in return. Rue also has a showstopper of her own. Not using it quite yet. Legit Queen trying to see, but doesn't get any value, at least from the Owl Drone. The plant does come through eventually, but look at that Legit Queen watching her teammates back, making sure that no rotation is going to be happening.
Giver
is waiting. She thinks she hears Cargo, finds her mid-rotate. I'll be very happy with that pick. They know that she's mid now. So at least they have to ready, but here comes that counter showstopper. Is it going to get any value?
Satchel out.
Satchel out. Doesn't get value. Here comes the Hunter's Fury as well. Yamori and Mochi get one each. Afrelin. Does it get anything? Not quite, but Mochi was there. Beautiful way of playing it. They have to swing out because of the Hunter's Fury.
They really do, and again, it's a very purposeful setup from ARF, but just because they weren't quite able to hold them off, just because of some misplays and not checking clearing for lurkers, it enabled Bigg to actually fend them off. The Hunter's Fury, like you mentioned, and not to mention just finding some frags here, Mori able to make use of her utility as a Reyna that way. So 4-3 now, and ARF, they're relegated towards worse weapons. It's gonna be tough.
Seen thrifties from Bigg. They're back home at least. For ARF, but look at that, Scar really getting that, but look at Afrelin as well. Nice trades from them. They don't want to lose any of their weapons. This aggressive play from them is the perfect counter to those shares at least. Garu taking up the space. Mori does find Crescents in return. Mori as well. Gonna get her life back.
Spike planted.
It's only gonna be Legit Queen and Shabby. They can at least make it expensive. Headhunter. And you can't really do much with the frenzy from that area, and the blind. It's gonna get Legit Queen as well as Shabby.
It's another clean, flawless round for Bigg, especially off the back of ARF's broken economy. It's something that we might just see change and turn the tides of this map. Bigg, off of these wins, might just be able to find the momentum that they were looking for. I mean, look at the economy on some of these players right now. Giver with 8,000. ARF, if they lose this round, that just might be it for the first half.
The fact that they managed to get 3, they get 4, it'll be okay. It'll be a little bit better at least as they go on to attack. But as for Bigg, they're very happy with the lead. Looks really well for them, especially on how they played. I really like what you said about them. Their how their setups are very purposeful. At the same time, when you need to play off each other, Bigg Scythe, they take advantage of that. They want to make sure that you're not able to do that.
And it's not even like, I mean, not to discredit Yamori, she's still able to find quite a bit. Her Lyres have been useful. But so many of these rounds are won because of, for example, Scaru with the mobility, able to find a lot of first kills. And also just Giver and Afrelin, their utility and some of the setups that they have. Giver lurking around corners at times. Afrelin finding a lot of useful information. ARF really need to find a better way to come for retake scenarios. If not, that's going to be a problem.
Rue, it's aggressive angle. Gonna have to give away that area. Does get caught in the recon. Shabby. Yamori coming in through. Shabby immediately finds that he has to teleport away. Information is enough. They know that Yamori is there, but Yamori being there, not necessarily a lot of information. Oh my god, she doesn't spot out the hit. Immediately jumps down, only good for 1. Might be good for 2, but doesn't want to risk it. Margot, watching them. Case of a mid-rotate. Giver is right there. Just a little bit on high ground. But look at this nasty angle she's playing as well. Ochi from the backside. Maybe she'll spot out.
Oh,
Let's get
that's
spotted.
the intel that's what ARF were looking for. Now they know that there's a potential for Bigg to actually hit the B site, and that's why we see Shabby now watching the angle, pushing back in towards yellow. She has to be very careful, though, making use of her rendezvous. She wants to find one and then get away. There she is!
Spike down.
That's the opening that she wants immediately.
30
Empress is
seconds left.
popped. So much space. She's not scared. Gets the headshot. Repositions. Margot gonna trade it back.
No charges left.
Yamori can't find Margot. Margot, where are you looking? Because Yamori says, you don't look my way. I will take you down. Hunter's Fury gonna delay that plant at least 13 seconds to go. The plant does come
10
through
seconds
regardless.
Spike
Now it's only Giver
planted.
Yamori left against 3 players from ARF. The revive comes through, make that 4. Giver taking up the top side here. Yamori with the overheal, just waiting. Get another pick if she can. Yamori from the side there will be found by Yuru eventually. Does hear the tap. Gonna be spraying through. And ARF will get the defuse.
Team
This is
Ace.
what they needed. The change in pace that they wanted.
And it truly came in full swing just because they had that information. Smart positioning across the entire map, and Margot able to call it out to her team that, hey, this site hit is going to be on B. Shabby was prepared for it, and value was provided. On the offhand, though, not to be mean or anything, I really do think that Reyna is not the agent for Icebox. They could have gotten so much more value on some other agent. Yamori popped the Empress, able to find some frags, but it's not enough. You really need to get more frags in order to make Reyna count. And that's a very conditional thing.
Oh, you don't peek, Giver! Giver peeks you! Well, she didn't peek. She held the angle. But anyways. Are you gonna get a value?
Good
what a
placement.
great opening shot. And it's legit queen. No intel.
Ooh.
What reaction? I thought Marco had
Okay,
that.
okay. I thought so too. But what started out with ARF being a little bit more confident turned into a 5-on-3. Shabby has her tour de force though, so I don't want to count them out just yet. The problem is that with 2 players gone, a lot of space has been created. ARF has no idea where they could be positioned.
Yamori.
Stealing sight.
Spear comes out. Buy some space.
Cutting the vision.
Another one. Can she swing out? That's the question.
enemy
What she
remains.
finds them in the end. Actually, no. It's Yamori. Great swing together, pinching her in the middle, and suddenly is Shabby all alone. She has the tour first, and for long range, for short range, she has the shorty. But I think everyone is pretty aware where Shabby might be.
I think I cursed it, Tash. I jinxed it. I talked about Yamori and Arena, and now she's pissed off. She gets 3 frags, and Shabby has no choice but to hold back.
At least she gets a gun out of that, so good
Sure.
enough. She can bring it back. Oh, but you might look to your left, my friend. Oh no, they're not gonna be rotating that way. They're just watching the backside here. I'm really liking that respect coming through as well, not searching or allowing themselves to be isolated.
Yeah. But, well, at the very least, with such a decisive hit, with such a sneaky play in towards the tube, in towards kitchen, Bigg Scythe has secured themselves 6 rounds. And that means they are pretty much good enough. It's equal towards the second half. And of course, Giver still holding on to her operator as well. That's even more value. ARF are going to have to find a different way to defend against this. They need to watch out for that big old gun.
Recon? They didn't get anything. Roomba does come through. That's all the intel they need. Immediately gonna give away that space. Snake bite as well. Not allowing push forward. No rotates yet from the teammates. This is great conditioning coming in from Bigg. You don't see rotates fast because you're not exactly sure if it's a Yamori hit, is she really gonna be there with the teammates? But all of these walls is enough to let them know that, yeah, it's gonna be here. You see how much damage is coming through. Survives with her life though. Afrolin, she tanked that snake bite like a champ. Well, now Yamori will be found out. They know exactly where she is. Getting destroyed by Bo3 catches them off guard. Good, she's good for one. Good for two, not quite. Presence wins that at least. As Giver and Yamori get one each. Skaru as well with the wall bang. Suddenly just legit queen. And did take this one home. Gonna be very happy.
Last round.
7 rounds on attack.
Just elated for sure. I mean, jumping for joy. Bigg Scythe. They hop their way onto Scythe, and it's really because ARF have no other way of stalling or resisting against them. Margot had no choice but to just pop up her toxic screen, drop up some poison clouds, some snake bites, and really run off because she can't hold them off on her own. And when it comes down to it, once Bigg Scythe are in position, it's game over. Might be setting up for the same thing right now as they hit onto A site.
Enemy tag.
Squeeze, she does get tagged. No follow-up. Skaru is deering. Yamori does get one. Skaru pushes forward. Yamori 17 HP. She needs a kill. She needs a heal. And look at that. Viper's Pit is out as well. Gonna get the plant by Mochi. So long as Mochi stays alive, that's all they need. Giver does find Margot and Shabby. And suddenly there's only legit Queen and Crescent's playing from the outside. This aggression coming through. Crescent sprays through the smoke, still goes down eventually to the snake bite. That's all she has to be happy with. Legit Queen, can you make this happen? All you have is a Guardian!
Teleport's ready.
But it's Giver with the op that seals the deal.
Can't quite compare Guardian to an operator, and that's 4-8 at the end of the first half. Bigg Scythe. With a lot more decisive hits onto sites. I mean, you can see how much more comfortable and confident they are, especially with Skaru, the tip of the spear, double satcheling in. It really forces ARF off, and once they are off site, they have such a tough time trying to come back in. Such a tough time trying to find some form of a retake, and it just never quite works out. I mean, it's all written in the book. Bigg Scythe now, they're in the lead.
There's a reason why this map is their pick. And on attack, it looks real good for them. But I have to say this map is attack biased. Now my question is, why did ARF choose defense? And I think it's because they wanted to have the explosive second half if possible. 8-4 is not a terrible score moving forward. 4 is enough for you, especially on the side that you might not necessarily have the advantage on. Now, when you look at their comp, or at least for the side of ARF, what are you expecting as we move on to the second half?
I mean, as we move on in the second half, I'm definitely looking for players like Legit Queen to do a lot more with the utility, provide some form of intel, some kind of combination with your teammates. Like, if Rue can play off of her utility, double satchel in, and break open a lot of these sites, it will work out for ARF. Not to mention Shabby as well. Potential lurker, potential hit hunter, just to open things up with some frags. That's kind of how I think Bigg Scythe were playing at some points. The difference is, though, Bigg Scythe, with their composition on the defense, it could be a real problem because Yamori as Reyna, unless she's doing a lot of different movements across the map, if she's just holding and watching angles and she doesn't find those frags, you're as good as like not any agent at all. So you're just a gun. Like that's going to be a little bit difficult to work with. If she can find some picks though and then dismiss away, different story.
It's a bit tough when you're on defense, but I can see her at least play aggressive. She can be enabled by her teammates, get a pick, maybe even dismiss away, or perhaps she can play lurk. There are Reynas that do play lurk, and there's a reason why. They have a great escape if they get that backstab. But I don't know. I mean, it's strange to see a Reyna on this map. And I'm just curious to see what exactly are their plans moving on to defense, and perhaps we might see a new meta. I mean, we did see a Phoenix yesterday, and they played it really well.
No.
So I'm really excited to see how exactly Yamori can surprise us with this Reyna.
It's so weird. Phoenix is coming back in, but well, it works in some LCQs. Maybe it works here as well.
As I said before, we saw only one time picked. It was MYSG VCT. So seeing him back again, I was like, wait a minute. It's been a while.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my
Here it
god,
is.
Shabby! Gets it straight to Giver. Yamori will trade out to Crescents. Legit queen. Unfortunately, those pain shells does destroy the owl drone, but you see the other members, Margot, does get picked up as well. They know they're exactly right behind A. No rotations yet from the other members. Look at where Yamori is, under tube. Easy access for information to B, easy access to A through mid. They do have mid control as well. And I'm liking the fact that they're holding this mid control.
Toxins going up.
Good hold. They got no information on B side though, and that's why it all comes down to the utility on the A side that really gives it away. What I like is
Look at
Shabby
this
on the lurk.
Not Shabby on the lurk, but Yamori is also on the lurk, but Shabby only has half health. Pushing forward here will be Marco. For now, the sprays come through. Ruga for one, Scaru gonna treat it out.
Spike down.
Yamori gets one as well,
Enemy
but look at
remaining.
the right clicks from Legit Queen! It's huge! They know exactly where Yamori is, just from that overheal.
30 seconds left.
Oh.
Yamori, if she can get the isolate,
planted.
she can get the dismiss, she can do some big
together.
plays. But they're playing together, all the way on screens. They're separating.
Wait.
One going to screens and one going up to the top back side. Good call, but for now she's gonna spot one out.
Oh, come on.
Yamori? Attack. And for now she gets two! That's a 4K for Yamori! Setting up big! There's a reason why she's on Reyna, and this is exactly it!
Clutch.
A smart call, seeing that not a single player was on site, not a single player peeking her. They're probably trying to make their way onto Raptors, and that's why she hopped on over, found the first one, and that's already dual isolated. Incredible smart plays coming in from Yamori, and it gave her team the pistol. Off a 1v2 clutch, 9-4, and we might actually see them, we might actually see Bigg Scythe reach double digits first. That's going to be a problem for ARF.
My jaw is on the floor. What a read!
I really have to eat my words. I mean, Yamori, 16 kills right now.
Give any agent to Yamori. She will do well. Oh, check your corners. Teleports away.
Just in time. Now this is the setup
Spike
for
planted.
the retake scenario. They've got all the specters to work with. They don't have the wall though,
It's broken.
which means that this is going to come
Scaru?
down to some frags.
Scaru!
Stealing
Look at
sight.
these lurks. Yamori to look. No, it's Scaru this time. Yamori pushing forward. She's not afraid.
One
Gets one to
enemy
the top.
remaining.
17 HP. Arslan gets 3 though. Yamori was just a distraction.
Thanks.
I like how that works. A little bit of a distraction, and she's still able to get those spray conversions. And towards the very tail end of it, of course, I mean,
Say hello to my
ARF
little
just didn't
friend.
quite have it. Yeah, the
Sprays
little
out.
friend being the Spectre.
Yeah, I know. She just sprayed. She was not intending on getting anyone. She was just baiting for Afrolin.
And what is this, Tash? Big? Round 3 on the second half, and Giver already has an op.
What on earth? Giver didn't buy, so she can op.
Yeah.
Scanning ahead.
Just waiting.
Now she's locking off B. Anyone who peeks out of garage probably did. If not, she could just rendezvous away.
Oh man.
So it's always this strong setup that we see from every team. What's interesting this time is Afrolin all the way under tube.
She got big guts, pushing through, playing close like that. They don't know she's crossed.
I like the little default from ARF though, because this is giving them a little bit of space to work with. They know that nobody's really pushed out yet, which means they have time to make a decision. Do we want to overwhelm B side? Can we actually take Giver down with our peaks? They managed to push her back, and now they have to go in with a call. It's either B or A at this point. Can't go through mid anymore.
I was hoping for Crescents to wall up backside at least. Bullshit peak. Take up more space. But they're very patient. Knows that there's actually Giver in the backside there. Lear does get deleted though.
Where's the smoke?
Giver's still waiting. Waiting for that push. Waiting for that peak. Crescent's moving up forward, not afraid to take up space. Millie finds Apfelin with the owl drone out.
Down B.
Oh my
Look
god.
at how much space they've
15
got. They're just clearing out the backside. Shabby still gets it, but the running gun doesn't really matter when your teammate is waiting on you. That comes through as well.
And that's ARF with the decisive hit towards the B site once they managed to push Giver away.
That op just now on Giver. They thought they could get value out of it. Now she has
It was
nothing.
a good idea, but unfortunately just the whiff kind of forced her back. It weakens her position. And who knew Crescents would be able to play Battle Stage that way? Going in with some walls and then finding the first frag, pushing into Snowman just to take Giver down, allowing for her team to
Scanning ahead.
breathe a little bit more.
There's a reason why Shabby is planting and not her.
So back into the start of the round now, and ARF trying to hold off a bit of default in case Bigg tend to get a little bit cheeky. They're not quite moving
Standing ahead.
out though, the only one being Yamori in towards Garage. If she spots out that the entirety of Garage is clear, she's going to call out to her team that the hit's coming
Shabby
towards
just find
A.
Yamori. That's huge.
Oh, that's good.
Yamori
Now
not
they can
able
rotate to A.
get
To B.
the pain shells. Just get some chip
going up.
damage.
Uh-oh.
Now, gonna buy some time.
ARF.
Oh, the slow plus.
Are they committing to
Shells.
this?
But they don't know Sparrow is playing this very close angle. Blue clearing out screens. Now be careful there. She does not know how many is behind it. But for now, Eflin will be on winning it. 21 HP left. He's breaking the wall, but Crescents and Margot get one each. Gotta get the plant. Here's Shabby. Doesn't get any value teleports away. Eflin's solo. She just needs to spot the head. They know that she's on the top side. Give her. Swing out there. It's a little bit hard when everyone is playing on the other angle. Spots out Legit Queen on the second one. Some sprays come through. Doesn't get any damage though. Spots her knee. No reaction. But Lee sees one.
Out of charge.
Ruby Crescent's out of the way. They're too low. They cannot tank. These snake fights. Shabby does get one more.
Oh.
And for now, Giver, what are you gonna do? There's a crossfire coming through. It's going Marco. I'm gonna be happy with this. They bring it down all the way to 6.
And now 2 rounds lost at the start of the half. 2 rounds gained back by ARF. They are not backing down without a fight, and this is what we love to see about them. Showing that they also have the versatility to play post-plant lineups with Margot. It's extra preparedness that gives them this potential. They were able to take some of those guns away, and as soon as they saw the space that they had, they went in and took it. And now Big Scythe relegated to nothing much left in their pockets. Just sheriffs and classics, maybe some utility.
I like how they put Legit Queen as the baiter this time. They didn't even know that Margot was on pipes. Great teamwork. For now, the question is, ARF, they have that win. They have the economy. How exactly are they going to make sure that they can bring this momentum forward? It's 4-point deficit. They have some wriggle room.
And they are the ones calling a timeout off a win as well.
This is really good mindset. That's why I say keep up the crate work.
Forward thinking. But they have to be very careful. Again, I mean, we saw some rounds go into Thrifties.
I think Big Scythe has one of the most impactful Thrifties we've seen so far. Not yet seen from ARF.
Yeah.
Toxins
Oh,
going
wow,
up.
okay.
This is a very interesting wall. It's just straight up. Look at where Mochi is. It's very dangerous though. Oh, they know she's there. She eats that damage. Nah,
Toxin
not like
down.
this.
Here.
Interesting attempt from Mochi, but still cleared out by the Boombot, and it just comes down to the picks at this point. Bigg can't afford to aim duel against ARF, but wow, just a blast
One
back
enemy
in.
remaining.
Nothing to worry about. Look at how many picks has come through. It's a firing range. They immediately reacted off the information. For now, they have no clue where Afrelin is. Playing on top of rafters. At least you can get one more, but everyone's ready for her. Shabby with that opening pick onto Yamori gives so much value.
Bit of a firing range, and also a bit of an ankle breaker with Rue just flying onto the site that way. Big Scythe, I mean, it's just unfortunate that round they really didn't have the weaponry to deal with it, but also just completely being overwhelmed. I mean, they had the right number of players stacked up, but those players couldn't do much against the full weight and force of ARF.
It's rifles versus your sheriffs. You can get value of sheriffs, but
Give her tour de force.
yeah, there is the tour de force as well. You know that Giver can pop hits. They know where she is as well. She did get scanned. She's not moving though. She's still holding on to the area. And she does get tagged. That's the second time they know she's there. They're not allowing her that space at all.
I'm curious. She was tagged up, but Legit Queen didn't commit the Hunter's Fury for it, possibly saving it for Site Execute instead. They've managed to pull off 4 players onto A site though, and that's the big thing. Now, they will be able to take down B because Mochi's all the way behind.
Still waiting. Can see Mocha spraying through the smoke, waiting for her teammate to get there onto the site with her. She is walled off. That's a very deep wall. And so much space they've taken. But here comes the Hunter's Fury finally being used. Gonna delay that plant at least. She does get Margot. Yamori finds Crescent. That's the 2 picks they want. Does find Yamori. In the end, Mochi is gonna trade that out at least. Gonna break out that wall. They want to be able to see at least
30 seconds
information.
left.
4 on 2. A bit hard to get onto the site. 2 plant here. And now all they can do is just wait. Wait for the misplay. You also hear the tour de force coming through, but for now Barskaru's gonna find Shabby in return.
Spike down B.
Where are you? Finds one more Legit Queen. Aflin's gonna trade it out.
Fortunately, you can't wait all that long, because when you wait too long, Big Scythe come into position, and they are ready to strike. I mean, it's surprising. They had the site, they had so much going in for them, but as soon as that wall was broken, it was so easy for Mochi to pick them off one by one. And I think ARF just kind of got a little bit complacent, thinking that the wall would save them completely. They weren't prepared for the hit that was coming next. Right now, 7-11, give her back on an operator.
You want to play?
ARF,
Let's play.
They really need to make this round count, or it's going to be match point.
Unfortunately, Giver whiffs that shot. Don't worry. You have all the information you need to play with. Garu has to move. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Does not get about almost getting Yamori. Hunter comes the showstopper. Who does for Yamori in the end? Vargo finds Garu. Trade on trade. There is the Viper's Pit as well. Plant will be true. But for now, Giver, where are you looking? Find 1. Ruger for 2. There's 3K in the pocket. Gonna get that space with the ping shells as Afrelin does find her in the end. Afrelin finds 1 too. Legit Queen secures it. A little bit too close for comfort, but they don't get it in the bag.
I got a little bit scared with Shabby getting picked off that way. But well, 8-11, and that's the decisive hit that we're looking for. This time, Legit Queen with the Hunter's Fury that I thought she would have committed from the previous round. It actually, here's the thing. Great players can always dodge all, like, if they might get hit by the first beam, but they can always dodge the next one. Because you're stuck into one spot, right? But you can also use the Hunter's Fury just to block up space, and aiming it towards screens really pushed Bigg off site, and that allowed for Rue to find what she did. Back into the A site this time though, and let's see if ARF can do it again.
Find that. Oh, she got distracted by the owl drone. What a swing. And look at Rue. She already got Yamori for the top. Crescent by Applin. Giver does trade it out with Crescents in the end. Plan couldn't come through once again. It was very safe one. Because there's only 2 members of Bigg to deal with. Post plant. So long as they don't allow themselves to be isolated, that's all they need.
I know what Rue stands for now. Like she's a kangaroo with the way that she hopped over on the top of Icebox that way. I mean, on the side of rafters and whatnot. It's so good, and she does such a great job at entering that way. So much so that Bigg only has 2 players left now, and it's an easy way for them to trade. Marco getting the first one, jumping in, looking for the last. Mochi running back and forth, but it's way too overwhelming, and a team ace for ARF. 9-11 dash.
Too close for comfort. Bigg hasn't gotten a single round since then. What's great about this is that because Rue took up so much space so fast, you can't exactly tell where exactly she is when you're so distracted by the other members.
Yeah. Not to mention with so much like utility being dumped in as well, right? The owl drone just to bait out the peek from Shabby, like you mentioned, and then all the toxic screens, the shock darts, the recon bolts flying all over the place. You're so overwhelmed. And now they're switching things up, headed towards the B site. They take down Giver, and that is it.
I do know that Giver is there, and she didn't even get the hit onto the owl drone. Crescent's moving forward. She's not scared. Very fast. Really walling it up. This time they learned a lesson. Not gonna go for the deep wall. Can't see anything on that side. What a great toxic screen. They're gonna spot out one though. Does find Shabby. And Shabby does find Giver as well. Right
Watch her
before
back,
the teleport. But look at how many people are coming in from B main. Yamori with clear. And now here comes the Roomba as well. Look at this shorty coming through. So far away to get the alley. We really finds Mochi as well. What can you do when you're an eco? You can't come even close. Applin, maybe she can come ahead. Not quite. Look at how many of them are going around. They're just wrapping around, trying to find her for both sides. Where are you gonna run? No isolation allowed.
Flawless win. It was a team ace earlier on. Now we got flawless. It's 3 rounds in a row. And Bigg Scythe, despite getting to 11 rounds, not quite able to reach match point yet. The gap is so close right now. And ARF, they can smell it. They can smell the equalizer coming soon.
I think that there's a lot of respect given to ARF to Bigg. You can see that every time, even there's one player left, they're still moving together. They're not getting greedy for kills.
They're being very careful and very patient as well. And sometimes just decisive with how they want to rotate. Or how they want to hit some sites. And it's mind games that we're seeing as well. Because Bigg Scythe right now, they're trying everything that they have in their playbook. 3 players down middle,
Marco.
no one defending B. This is very unorthodox.
Here's Yamori. They know that she's there. Trademark is there as well. Immediately finds Garu. Smargo got distracted by that trademark.
Wall raised.
Falling up for the
Your
revive.
duty is not
But
over.
this is not good because it means that for that post plant, you're not gonna have that wall. Never say than sorry though. Numbers advantage is always better. Quite get that recon dart out of the way fast enough as Mochi pushes forward.
Oh, there we go.
So
It's up to Skyru actually right now. She
He's
pushes down
empty.
mid, catches them off in a rotation. And that's intel being gathered by Bigg. No more smokes and no more walls to work with. It's going to make it tougher for ARF to actually get the spike planted. They're still going to try and stick it though. Wow!
Oh, they use that just to buy some time. Does find Yamori in the end. That's Shabby. Popping heads. Gets the plant. Or post plant.
That might be enough.
It is. They managed to do that even without the wall. They do get
Teleport's ready.
found out. The defuse does come to try to protect the diffuser for the trade on trade. 2-on-2 still. Still equalized.
One enemy.
Look at that! Rue
Wow.
finds Giver at the end. Beautifully done. The ARF equalizes it. 11-11.
Hey, how mentally insane do you have to be, Crescents, to dare to stick the spike plant that way? And I think that has to be an enemy's poison cloud, right? Just because it's red color. But at the same time, as soon as the spike was down, all of them knew what their jobs were. They held on the other side of yellow, on the side of green, and they peeked together. And I'm not sure if you caught that. There's that one moment, one peeked out from the top, one peeked out from below. So coordinated that it just managed to trade out just on time, just perfectly.
Oh, she's there. Teleports away. Not the first time to give her caught off guard there. Doesn't want to die there.
Uh-oh.
Look at that! They didn't know that Giver was on the other end. Does fight her at least in the end. Ashlyn, you want to be careful. Rue good for 2. Gru good for 3. Make it 4. Give us 5. Give us our ace. Where are you, Mochi? Hesitation coming through from Mochi. What can she do? Economy wise, they got nothing. They know exactly where she is. It's gonna take a miracle for her to do something. Let's pop 1 hit! Denying that ace! But at least they win the round.
Match point.
You were Big Scythe. You have no idea what just hit you. But here's the answer. It's a kangaroo with a big old rocket. Exactly. The movement with the double satchel. And she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew where to look as well. They were kind of scared to peek her, even after the showstopper was spent. And I think that's one of the things that bit them in the back. It's 12-11 right now, and they are kind of broke. Giver with the tour de force has to be instrumental right now.
Look at those force buys. Immediately gonna drop pop. That Viper's Pit. Not changing up the way they play.
Oh, they're backing off too.
As well, but just trying to spray through the smoke, hoping that's gonna be hitting Margot. Sorry, not Margot, Mochi. Mochi's staying safe. Look at that! Giver once again not hitting those shots. If she doesn't hit those shots, she can't anchor the site, especially when she's alone. Yamori playing for it mid this time, just to provide that extra cover, at least on that side. They do spot her out. Immediately gonna pop that poison cloud. Oh, Quest is just pushing forward. They know how many people's there, Ashlyn?
Are they gonna peek together?
2, 3. Naru gets 1. Gonna trade out. Shabby gets 1 each. Not looking good. Has that advantage, Mochi. Too aggressive there. Too much.
30 seconds
They have
left.
a sight.
Just like that.
Again, that's 3 rounds left for Giver to work with. 3 rounds for 3 players. If she can land all of them, that would be great, but it's tough.
Here comes the counter. But for now, Yamori does find Shabby. At least Overheal comes through. There is a little bit of a silver lining. Rue is pretty low. But when you can get those 1 shots, doesn't really matter. Those headshots are more important than your HP. Yamori clearing off everything. And look at that. Margot,
will Margot be
too
prepared
close.
for this?
She is prepared, but where is she? They pass by each other. She's outside. They do hear the defuse come through. Margot finds 1. Can she fight through too? Yeah, the box going through. Running out of time here. Does for Michael yet, but Rue's gonna trade that. 13-11. ARF bringing it back.
Victory.
It's looking so good for them and how they play on this map.
Rue the kangaroo again, and also with Margot in the Viper's Pit. Just perfect setup. And it's not just the Viper's Pit as well. I mean, you have to have a little bit of experience, a little bit of game sense to be able to tell that there is a chance that Yamori and her teammate could come in around the back of the Viper's Pit. That's why she stepped out of it for a second and just came in at the right time to catch them off as they turned around. It's such a smart play, and it came so close. If they lost that round, we would have went into overtime, but unfortunately, it was Big Scythe that lost, and it's also Big Scythe that gets sent home.
It's very an unfortunate moment when you think about it. Just the fact that those big plays are just all coming in from ARF. On top to what you said about Margot, you also have to remember Rue. She was playing straight in the back, didn't make a sound, didn't trade until it matters. So the discipline is there from them. And that comeback was just so strong. They learned so much, but let's look at the stats here as Yamori will be the MVP. 19 kills a pocket, but is it enough though when Shabby is landing all of her headshots as a chamber?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say again, like, I'm gonna seem really mean saying this, but I really do think that even with that many kills, you're just not providing that much utility, not that much support to your team, because something like Crescent with the Sage and those walls, buying time and other resources for a team does so much more. But that said, she did do such an incredible job finding a lot of these opening picks, being able to dismiss back and forth. It just toys with ARF just enough to bring her team to 11. ARF, on the other hand, though, I mean, what a way to close out that final round. And you can really see that this team, they have some form of leadership, they have some form of potential to come back in huge for future games, because the way that they dismantled that Viper's Pit for Mochi, the way that they actually broke all the way through middle onto Scythe itself was so deliberate. Such a combo play from all the team working together.
That's the reason why they're very, very brave. They're just playing through smokes and just pushing out together. They're not afraid to take up that space. And on top of that, the idea that they're just, the way they use their utilities playing together gives them so much more. And end of the day, I think, I hate to break it to them, but that pick on the Reyna, I think it was already figured out by ARF as soon as round 2 or round 3 happened. They saw those lurks coming through from Yamamori and they were prepared for it so many times. And Shabby is always there to catch them in those mid-rotations. Because they're not afraid to take up space, because they're not afraid to play together, you start seeing this very aggressive situations come through, and they're very, very confident in their firepower and their abilities as well.
Yeah, a little bit different, but that said, it's still not a small feat for Yamori to actually come out on top like that as a Reyna. It's very impressive. I do think there is a time and place for Reyna, and it is possible for you to do that on Icebox. You just need more deliberate strats to be able to make that work. Just playing off standard with the Leers and Empress dismisses, I don't think that's enough.
Honestly,
but still,
yeah. It's just a situation where, yes, you are gonna get that value from a lurk, but when have we actually seen that big plays come through, those double or triple kills that we saw from her from the previous rounds and yesterday?
She did get some. She did get some in the first half.
Yeah, she did. But as you move, that's the reason why ARF chose defense. Because they are very confident in what they're able to do. They knew that, okay, this is the benchmark we need to hit on defense. And on attack, we could just go crazy. Because that is when Yamori, she's gonna find a little bit of trouble trying to get onto the site as a defender, as opposed to having a chamber. Regardless though, congratulations to ARF for surviving that as they go forward.
Surviving.
Yes.
Yeah. We really almost went to overtime. Really almost.
That was one of the closest things we've seen so far. And I have to say, because it's just that close, that Reyna pick would have been possible. It just needs more work.
Yeah, I think, like, as an individual performer, and if you move out and do a lot more, it could be something interesting. But that said, I mean, ARF, the combination of Rue, for example, with the satchels, absolutely insane. Almost got the ace. But also the rest of her team just to back her up as well. I mean, like, legit Queen Shabby, who was, you know, the MVP of the map. It's incredible. And we end the series with a 2-0, Tash.
2-0 both times today. I have to say that it's been incredible watching these teams, how they play. It's very different than what we would see previously from stage 1 or stage 2. But for now, this is the bracket. And for now, we're going to see X Team BO going to be meeting up on the upper bracket with X10 Sapphire. And this is actually really funny, as yesterday, if you watched the broadcast, Donut actually nearly called X Team BO X10 Sapphire as well. Not X and X. It's going to be very confusing. But for now,
X's and O's.
X's and O's. Wow, that's nice. That's very nice. But if you look at the bottom.
It's a song.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I'm an uncultured swine. Okay.
No, you're not. Don't do that.
But coming into the lower bracket here, it's going to be BMG and WSF. Yep. And I believe this is going to be the second time they're meeting, as ARF will be meeting with BSX.
Yeah, A little bit of a long journey for the teams in the lower bracket as they have to make it all the way to lower bracket finals. But if they do, they might just be one of those top 2 teams that qualify again for VCT Game Changers APAC Elite. And that's the slot that you need. That said, though, I mean, I think XNS, are starting to shape up to be some of the favorites throughout the entire tournament. Apart from that, congratulations, because ARF, as a newly formed roster, a newly formed org or team, performing this way already, it's pretty impressive. Like, it's a step up. That sounds so mean, but they beat their ex-teammates, you know? And like that's something to be said about that.
That's a whole statement right over there. But if you look at this tomorrow, I'm really excited for the new Streak FE versus Black Magic. I think it's definitely a match not to be missed. But for now, I'm Tashman alongside Hey, I'm Quack. This is the VCT Game Changers APAC LCQ. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't go anywhere.
Bomb grenade got one enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike. Spike. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Attackers. Spike down mid. One enemy remaining.
Funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it drunk, with a cover on the bed. Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club,
Attackers
funk in
win.
the club, funk in the club, with a get it drunk, with a cover on the bed. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here, everybody round, everybody
30 seconds left.
everybody round here, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it drunk, with a couple on the bed. Funk in the club, funk in the club, with a funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, funk in the club, with a get it drunk, with a